Hello and welcome to Schmeckle TV. Tonight I'm here with Little Miss Anonymous and Samaj Zed. We have our guest Robin, who has escaped from a cult. Now, Robin, you were involved with the Science of Identity Foundation.
Yes, but it was really a mistake.
Well, joining a cult, I assume, generally is.
Yeah, but I
Well,
thought that
unless you're in it.
I thought I was joining ISKCON.
And what would that be?
ISKCON is the International Society of Krishna Consciousness. That they have the same like founding guru, but I didn't realize that I was going off on some sub branch that was like unapproved by the main.
So it's a
Okay, so
subset of a cult.
Yes.
you ended up in the fringe
It's
of the
like
fringe.
Yeah, like I was just in the wrong line for yogurt, but I was just in the long line for the wrong cult, and then I ended up in a different cult.
Oh.
Kind of like losing your luggage.
When your luggage went to the wrong cult.
Yes, I went to the wrong cult,
Yeah.
and my luggage just stayed in the airport.
That's unfortunate. I mean, was it terrible? The whole time? It was fun for a bit, I imagine.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, like when I first started hanging out, it was way different. Like it was a yoga studio. Like
Oh, of course it was.
Chris Butler has a variety of different businesses for his location for his temples, and that one was it was totally chill. It was in Northern California, and
So what are their
they were
actual
like loving
beliefs?
and like accepting and like chill and like you've heard of it. They call it love bombing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
The core belief of science of identity, what he tells people is that like, okay, you're not your body, right? You're a spirit.
Okay.
And like the point is to like fix your consciousness on Krishna like at all times and your guru.
Mm.
So that's what like everything you do is to fix your consciousness on like your guru and Krishna. So like
What do you
everything that you
mean
do.
when you say fix your consciousness?
Okay, so like everything that you do like throughout the day, like you've got your mind on something, right? What you're going to do today, what stupid shit happened yesterday. Like your brain is always, there's something going on there. You're thinking about something. Like that's your consciousness, right?
Mm.
So, you have this mantra, the Hare Krishna mantra. So, like, you're turning every single thing that you do into like an opportunity to fix your consciousness on Krishna.
So
Right?
what does he do for you?
Yeah. Huh?
What does he do for you then?
Oh, what? So the idea is to be Krishna conscious,
Mm-hmm.
so that like you're one with the Godhead, and you're not
Mm.
stuck in like the karmic like cycling of karma. Life, birth, life, old age, death. That you're freeing yourself from that like wheel of suffering by focusing your consciousness on Krishna.
Isn't Krishna from a Hindu religion or some sort?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's one of the heroes in Hindu literature.
Okay, so this religion's like a type of, or trying to be a type of
Well, I mean,
spin-off of
sort
that.
of. It goes back to Bhaktivedanta Swami was the guy who first brought Krishna consciousness like from India into America, and he was like, it was during the time when like gurus were like super hip, in the '60s and in the '70s, and like the Beatles had their own guru, and like it was all about like elevating consciousness. You know what I mean, right? like he brought that in originally, and Chris Butler was one of his students back in the 70s.
Who? Maybe I'm too old. Who's Chris Butler?
Chris Butler is the guru. He's the leader of science of identity. They call him Siddhasupananda Paramahamsa. He is the guru, Guru Dave, the guy who,
Is he very white?
yeah, he's pretty fucking white. Like, is marshmallow white?
Oh my god.
Especially like when he's covered in white and he lives in a house that's completely like enfolded with like aluminum foil because he's a huge germaphobe, and I think he probably suspects aliens.
Wow, so he's extra nutty.
Oh god, yeah, he's totally out there.
Mm.
Like, because he's that super paranoia and like super germaphobe, and I don't know what his trip is, but
Something tells me he would get along well with Dr. Kellogg.
I have no idea. I was lucky though. Like, there's like this levels of initiation into like science of identity, and I really never got past like the first initial like stage. Like, I never met Chris Butler.
So you
I'm
just
really
heard
glad
stories about him.
I was like on the first tier, like the people who don't actually like go and sit with him when he does his. I was being taught by his students, living with and being initiated and like living the lifestyle with underneath like a lesser student. I hadn't gotten up to where you get introduced to Chris Butler.
So is it like a hierarchy? Like you have to earn your way up in rank in order to meet up?
I mean, sort of. You
Okay.
got to be there longer than like 6 months, probably. But
so, like, what were you expected to do within this religion? Like, convert others, donate money, like.
Well, everybody. Well, there are those like there are people who that's their chore. Like, everybody has their duty. Mine was more like picking bugs off of a greenhouse, and we built a greenhouse, and
Did they pay
pulling
you?
weeds,
Did you work for
and
free?
oh yeah, everybody there does like it's a 4-hour work day. And
So
in
they
Hawaii it was a
essentially-
farm.
So essentially, it was either slave labor or recruitment.
I mean, that's just, I don't know. My mind frame at the time was like, I thought it was a really great deal because I get to go live in Hawaii on this farm, and I only have to work 4 hours a day. Like,
I guess were they feeding you and housing you and stuff?
Oh yeah, all that.
Sorry if I missed it. I was a little late here. How old were you when you were?
I was 19.
Oh, okay. It's 19.
Yeah.
I guess I could see why it would seem like a good deal because, like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a horrible trade-off. If you don't get anywhere, but at least you're fed and housed.
And you're in Hawaii of all places.
The alternative was like where I was coming from. The alternative was like nothing. Like, I had just got suspended from school because I had just spent like the whole first year just like I was cosplaying, Animal House, and like I had nowhere to go.
Yeah,
I couldn't go back to school, so it was like that or the streets somewhere. I couldn't live with my family. Like, my dad's not gonna let me live with him. He's still on that strict like head trip about like me joining, this horrible cult and turning my back on my country because it's all like country, God, military, and like
you were a prime candidate for cult life.
Well,
yeah, that, and also like I just didn't have any like family.
Yeah, that's a perfect target. Somebody
I had my mother, but she was like in Oklahoma, and I was like staying out in California.
Yeah.
You just said like turn your father seemed like you turned your back on your country, and
he
I'm
told me
curious.
I spit. He said as far as I'm concerned, you're spitting in the face of your country. Oh, because also like I mean, there's so many like different layers to this. My dad was trying to get me to join the Navy. I was trying to explain to him that like with my past history, like the Navy said I was not qualified, and he just like wouldn't take that as an answer.
So
Of course not.
Right. So I was joining a cult and I was spitting on the military. And so like my dad disowned me. Like I wasn't going back to my dad, and I couldn't go back to school because I had to spend a semester somewhere else before I was eligible to go back to school.
Mhm.
So it was Hawaii or nowhere, or
So-
How did
everywhere.
you hear
And
about it?
It was homelessness. At the time, I wasn't ready for that. So like, okay, I'll go to Hawaii.
So yeah, you seem like you're in a real desperate situation. So this
Yeah,
place
pretty
seemed
much.
like a right idea.
Pretty
Um,
isolated time in my life. Or
I,
yeah,
I, I do have to ask. I am curious because the whole like traitor to the country thing has me wondering: was this religion or I shouldn't say, was this cult a foreign cult? Like
what do
they
you
talk
mean?
about Christian. Like okay, when you talk
Yeah,
about
but you
Christian,
mean like the theme of
well, the
like the whole
theme,
thing? It was
yeah,
it was Indian, right? It's
right?
Hindu,
But was it
basically.
run by Indians? Like, is it a
No, no, for
foreign?
the most part. Like sometimes you do.
Mhm.
Sometimes you do because there's a lot of travelers and a lot of people like people that I saw in California were like into woofing. You know what woofing, willing
Yep.
workers on organic farms. A lot of them were travelers. So people were from all over the world. So like you did see them all the time. But like most of them are not being specifically run by Indian people. Like there are like a few where you go in and like they live there in the temple, but like not the ones that I was living in at the time. But I've seen them in ISKCON temples. Like most ISKCON temples do have like Indian people in there, like they work in the kitchen and shit.
So
How did you hear about it? Like, how did they?
I was working in a coffee shop in Sacramento because I had to leave school. So I went out and I stayed with my dad, and he had just gotten like remarried for like the third time. So I got this job at, yeah,
That's a good sign.
Third time's the charm, right?
I had to go somewhere. My dad said I could come stay there in California, and so I'm at this coffee shop, and they're putting up these flyers for free meditation center like classes. And like I was super stressed. I had a lot of like crazy stressful, like my head film was like totally in a weird place, and I was 19, so it was, a lot of that was adolescence, and a lot of it was like being an irresponsible like child, learning how to like take care of myself in the world.
And I didn't know if it was said before we went live, but you'd mentioned that you've been in foster care.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, I was.
So there was a
home
lot of
before,
factors.
like I turned 18, and I got to go be free in the world.
Yeah, there's a lot of unstable factors in your life. So I mean, it would make something like a cult seem a lot more appealing, especially
Right.
considering the
I mean,
responsibilities were only like 4 hours
I
of
was
work.
looking
And you
for
live in Hawaii.
I was looking for a family. Like I think that's like why
Yeah.
like every single like cult, street gang, chess club, it doesn't matter who it is. Like that's how they like everybody's looking for that community. And
Right.
I was like, I just came from a place where I was especially just always felt very alienated, like my whole life, like questioning whether like I'm even like from this planet sometimes. Like it just seems like I'm so repelled or repellent, or I'm just repelling the whole world. So yeah, I was looking for a community where I didn't feel so foreign.
That definitely makes a lot of sense when it comes to doing that. I am curious. Like I know I've asked a couple questions. I don't know if you know about, because I was just curious. Like is this part of a greater religion? Like is it part of is it like a spin-off of Hindu stuff? Like I asked you earlier, but or was this just like, is it made up? Is there like do they have chapters all over the country?
Yeah, they do. They have temples and yoga studios and restaurants and grocery stores.
So okay, when you say yoga studios, do you mean like Like, do they do like free yoga stuff like all throughout the country?
It's not free. No, it's a business.
Well, I ask because whenever I go on Facebook and I type in yoga, there's always a free yoga class somewhere happening. And now I'm
Oh,
sorry.
you mean like a marketing thing? Like your first yoga class is free? I mean, they could have, but like I wasn't really paying attention to I wasn't there to do yoga.
Well, I'm only asking because now it makes me wonder. Because if I was curious and I thought, oh, I'll try out this yoga thing. Let's see if it, helps me out with my flexibility. Am I technically participating in a religious act?
I couldn't tell you because
I
I
think it
literally never
depends on the
paid any
yoga
attention to their yoga studio.
Well,
When I
can't-
started hanging out there, I could use the yoga studio. I could do Tai Chi if like the Tai Chi like teacher happened to be there in the evening after everybody was gone and was doing Tai Chi. Like I'd go in there and do Tai Chi with her, but like I wasn't really involved with the yoga studio. But yeah, I think I did take like one free class.
Because I'll look up on.
I was there for the free meditation.
Like I'll look up on different yoga things on like Facebook and stuff, and he'll show you pictures of the studios, and they definitely have that Eastern or Middle
Yes,
Eastern
it's very
kind of look
heavily
to it.
influenced by Eastern Hinduism,
Yeah,
yoga, Buddhism. They believe they have a disciplic succession that goes like all the way back to Arjuna having this conversation with the sun god.
because I never participated and I never looked into it, but I always noticed the decor and the style, and it was definitely a style of another country behavior or whatever. And I never was sure if it was a religious thing or if it was just a stylistic thing. So I'm just curious if this.
It's a bit of both for just regular yoga. It's a bit of both.
All right, that.
I don't think they're all cults.
Okay.
You mean yoga studios?
Yeah,
no, not all yoga studios are cults.
Well,
this one and Bikram.
Okay, well, I'll Bikram. So that I guess that's a series of trigger warnings. If I see the Bikram yoga studio, free yoga or whatever, I should probably be careful.
Yeah, avoid Bikram. That
Okay.
should kill you. First session, I lasted 15 minutes when I tried Bikram. Fucking brutal.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. They just did. Yeah, they do the yoga in the room. They did turn up the temperature to like 120.
Oh, I've heard of those.
Oh, hot yoga.
Yeah,
hot
yoga. It's
yoga.
called
Hot
Bikram.
yoga. Yeah,
Bikram, yeah.
It's
like a whole like weird ass cult, like about like Bikram yoga too. But like I don't know shit about that.
Oh god, hot yoga is not very good for you.
I didn't join every like fucking cult that I came across. Honestly.
Just two, honestly, just two.
See, I'm part like Aboriginal, part Métis, and I've done a sweat. And
I love sweats. I do.
And you know what? Sweats are fine because you put a couple of hot rocks, you put in fires, and you douse with water. It's like being in a sauna for a bit, and you're only in there for like 5 minutes, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah, short periods of time are fine. Hot yoga tends to be like an hour,
and you're doing physical activity while you're doing it. Yeah,
it's pretty horrible.
It's like asking someone to do a series of jumping jacks in the sauna. Like, you kidding? I'll fucking die.
Well, that's kind of the idea, I think.
Yeah.
Die a little bit for enlightenment.
It's endurance.
Oh boy. All right. Well, yeah. Okay. So I wanted to know the history and some of the lore and things to look out for if there's ever anything in my general area, which I doubt that there is.
You want to know how at risk you are of accidentally joining Signs of Identity?
Well, when you're doing something that's very different than what you usually do, and
it's not like I was walking down the street and I tripped and I fell and I landed into a cult.
You hope not.
You're not going to get it if you like visit too many juice bars.
I mean, it's a fun. It would have been like a fun build up to an interesting story. It's like that one time I accidentally joined a cult. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
you accidentally joined the wrong one.
Yeah, I was in the line for raspberry, and I ended up over here in Footwater.
Ever tell you the time I fell down the?
Now, speaking of Footwater,
Oh God.
That's a particularly interesting part of this cult. Let's talk
It's
toenails.
odd. It's definitely fucking odd. This guy thinks he's a black magician. Yeah, it's the same thing with the toenails. Yeah, if you cut up, it's like this guy's practicing like African voodoo. You cut up your fingernails and soak your feet in water and have somebody like intake your essence. You're gonna have like influence and power over
I'm sorry,
you.
what?
Yeah, like that's like something that
Okay.
you know.
Did he
you're
drink
doing.
water? Did they?
All right. So explain to me the process. How does this work?
Okay, so like he cuts his toenails, like collects all of his toenails,
The guy.
distributes his toenails to all of his followers, all of his devotees throughout the world, actually, and his devotees put them in the food.
Ooh,
What?
so you've ingested this man's toenails.
Yeah, probably. I'm sure over a 6-month period. I had no idea. I had one incident where like I'm eating like an avocado pudding and I found this enormous toenail in it. And I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know this is what I was in. So I just like tossed the toenail. Like I didn't think twice
Did you
about
keep
it.
eating it?
No.
I was gonna say, I don't
No.
know if I can continue eating something I found a toenail in. Like a hair, yeah, okay, maybe, but a toenail, I got.
Honestly, I figured that like the idiots that were making the smoothies probably just got their nail in there because they were like these really whacked out like people. Like they're goofy and weird as hell. They just throw like everything in the kitchen into the blender. So if their toenail got in there, it wouldn't actually be that big of a shock.
So
They're
they
just like
didn't
these
actually,
like surfer hippies that like I think probably burned their brains out a little bit from high school when they did all that LSD. And so yeah, I didn't think that much of it because you have these like burned out surfers making their smoothie. Like sometimes shit happens.
They couldn't have even managed to like grind it up into a powder.
Yeah, that's what like that is a pretty funny point. They're doing the whole thing wrong. Like
yeah, they're putting the whole toenails in there, man. Somebody's gonna notice
eventually.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think I want them to get smarter about it.
I think I know what the thumbnail's going to be there, Schmeckle.
Yeah, I figured you might.
The whole idea is like somebody ingesting part of you gives you power over them.
Interesting.
There are people that would look right at you and tell you that like this guy reads people's minds. Like he's a mind reader. They'll tell you that he knows what you're thinking.
He sounds like a very clingy ex that like hides parts of themselves in your food because they suspect you're going to leave them.
It was kind of a situation of like I was enjoying like so many things about it, and like the really like weird like dark shit would just like come into my peripheral view like every once in a while until it got to the point where there was like I can't ignore that that's something fucked up.
So you mean to tell me that this guy believes that he gets control over his followers if they ingest the toenails?
And the water that his feet have been soaking in.
Okay, so what's expected to be done with the water?
You eat it, drink it.
They hide it in food.
Yeah, you use it to wash down the toenails.
So if you were if you were to make soup, you use it with the foot water.
Toe water, yeah.
I'm not sure that they just put out like a jar that said, Guru Dave's foot magic, and then they used it as like a condiment in the kitchen.
The foot bucket.
I don't know how they did that because I wasn't allowed in the kitchen. I wasn't even allowed to like use their running water like facility bathrooms and shit.
Okay. All right. I guess I understand.
Because there's like different levels even within like the people that are like training to become like devotees. Like,
but you were living on a commune, right?
Yeah. It was a farm. It was a farm. You could see it on YouTube.
Did you ever have privacy?
Private.
Like, did you
my-
have your own room or?
I had a tent. I lived in a tent. First, I lived like out in this like grove of star fruit, and then for a while, I lived under like the garage. Like I slept under the garage.
Okay.
So no, did you have access to like showers and?
Yeah, I
Okay.
used the public. They had a public shower that's like
Okay.
hooked directly to the catchment. So there's no like it's like cold, but like it didn't really matter because it was Hawaii. So like it
It's never really that cold.
right. So it wasn't a big deal. And yeah.
So they provided you with a tent and food.
Yeah. I mean,
And
if I had stayed there long enough, I would have been able to like stay in like the bunk beds and like use the bathtub.
So what was the landscape like? Is it farmland?
Yeah,
And
it
is
was
there a
on the
house?
side of a volcano.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was all volcano, like on a kind of an incline, and it was all volcanic rock. I chewed through like 3 pairs of shoes in like just a few months.
Oh shit.
Hmm.
Was it okay? So what was the land like? Is it very rocky? Was there
Yeah,
grass?
Volcanic rock everywhere.
Ooh.
It's on the side of a volcano.
Ooh. Okay, yeah, I live in Canada, so
The
actually,
air quality
You know,
couldn't have been very
There
good.
are like a ridiculous number of Canadians living down in Hawaii, and especially in places like this. Like almost every single other like student, young person that lived there was from Canada. Every single one of them.
I can actually believe that. I spent 2 months in Mexico.
Except me and the burned out stoner surfer guy who just like got abandoned there as a kid. Like
Did you at
his
least have your
parents
own
took him
tent?
there on vacation and like just left. So he like wandered into the
What?
cult.
That's like Joe. That's the plot for Joe Dirt.
Dude, no, they totally did. They like he was like 16 or 17 and they were like maybe he ran away, but they went on vacation and then they left and then he didn't. He stayed on the beach because like the cool thing about Hawaii is like you couldn't keep anybody off the beach. They're all public. So you could be on any beach anytime, whenever. They could just live on the beach. So I guess maybe he ran away from his hotel and went to live on the beach. And then he got involved with the Rock and Rama parties.
I mean, they're gonna
Every
feed him,
Sunday,
so.
like every Sunday, this is like the whole like shebang thing. Like what it was all about every Sunday was like 200 something people in a temple room above a garage with this like really insane like kirtan music.
Did they at least give you drugs?
No, man.
Oh,
That was
the
crazy. You
worst
don't have to
cult
give people
ever.
drugs when they're because like they're high on that on that kirtan. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it to you. You would have to see it. But that is
I
like
know what you
worship is like a form of drug. Like
Yeah, I know. Exactly. I get it.
The tribal energy, the drumming, it's frenzious. Like that's part of what drew me to it was.
How often did you get to have like party cult sessions?
Party cult sessions. I don't know what that is.
Are you talking orgies? I think she
No.
Kirtans? Like how often did we have these every day? But Sunday was like weirdly enough, they made Sunday like the big day.
Extra drums.
Yeah. I mean, every morning and every night there's a small kirtan. And then weekends, big kirtan.
So kirtan is like a celebration?
Yeah, it's like a worship. It's a worship service. You know, you
Okay.
do like you put the food on the altar with the deities, the little like figurines of Krishna and Chaitanya and all the other like Justice League of India.
That's
You
not the
put your
first time I've heard
little-
that comparison.
Right, like you put your food
They have a
up
lot
there
of
for them,
gods.
and then you ring a bell, You ring a little bell, and you light some butter candles, and it's exciting. It really is. It's Hold on one second.
Sure. The I'm still trying to picture out the landscape. Is it like all rocky? I know you said the edge of the volcano. Never. I don't know. I guess I'll figure it out.
I apologize.
Well,
I have to send a message to my mother. She's yelling "Happy VD" into my ear.
Okay.
Oh,
We'll entertain the chat for at least like a couple minutes then. Schmeckle, how you doing?
Not too bad. Have you been, Jimbo?
I'm doing okay. It's cold as hell here right now. We're in a bit of a cold front, like minus 30. So it's
shit.
not the greatest. We should pass the next couple days or so, but sucks.
Yeah, I could see that not being the greatest. At least you're not in a cult.
At least I'm not in the cult. That's right.
Although, I mean, maybe you might find yourself a nice girl if you were to join a cult. Like, it's I'm not saying join a cult, but like maybe it's worth a try, right?
I mean, I suppose. I don't know if it'd be worth it.
Well, it depends. It sounds like she had a pretty good deal there. Work 4 hours a day. All you gotta do is listen to some fucking
No,
sermon
not unless
every day.
you're like you want an arranged marriage, maybe.
Jimmy,
Is marriage frowned upon?
I'll find you someone.
No,
they'll find you somebody. Yeah, they arrange marriages.
I'm sure they do, and no.
Well, I mean,
okay.
how the heck else? Yeah, they had some pretty like weird ass like living situations. Like they slept in separate beds. Like back in the 1950s, you had like a bedroom,
Really?
and like there was 2 separate twin beds. Like people didn't sleep together. They just like, yeah, you couldn't sleep.
Are they like a homophobic cult? Or are you?
Oh God, yeah.
Of course they
totally.
are. Of course they are. That should have been obvious.
Yeah, they're very homophobic.
Okay, all right.
Like one of the like I had a friend who was Is there somebody else here?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought I heard an echo.
I mean, you might. Schmeckle, things are good on your end?
Yeah, I'm not hearing an echo.
Oh, yeah, I am hearing an echo. It's me.
You accidentally have the stream in the background, maybe.
Yes, that's what it was. Jesus.
Yeah, I hate that. I do it by accident sometimes.
Yeah, I was totally tripping my head out.
It's all right.
Well, somebody's gonna have to redirect because I've lost the track.
So no gay arranged marriages. Only
No
good,
gay arranged
wholesome
marriages.
Christian arranged
No, they're
marriages.
totally
with
like
separate beds.
homophobic. That would be totally disgusting to them. Sex is only if you're married, and it's only for the explicit intention of we're making a baby right now.
That's okay. So that kind of answers my question of how like if there was
There's
a lot
like
of
sexual like interaction, completely like karmic.
So was there a lot of sexual weirdness? Or
no, because everybody was kept separately.
That doesn't usually stop that, but
it does. Like, well, it did. There was nothing. It definitely worked there.
Did they keep you individually separate or just separated
by
just
gender?
Yeah, usually that doesn't stop it. Usually what ends up happening is a lot of gayness.
Maybe the guys were doing stuff. I have no idea. Not a clue.
Okay, so
we need to find a guy that escaped and ask him if they were having gay orgies in their tents.
I would, I've told some other people that were involved that I was doing this, but like they've chose not to join.
Mm.
So, did you have friends at the time that you were talking about joining this cult with?
No, I was completely on my own.
Oh, okay. And
I've been I'm a very proficient loner. I'm very
Right.
good at it. Like, I'm just used to being by myself and like keeping my own counsel.
Mhm.
Yeah, the internet really has opened up the world to a lot of supremely hermited people.
I imagine so.
Yeah.
So, Lionel saying Tulsi Gabbard was part of this cult.
Yeah, the whole Gabbard family. Mike Gabbard and I forget. I don't even know their spiritual names. Krishna. I think it's Krishna Das. I'm not 100% sure. Rama would know because Rama was raised in the cult, but they were original followers of Chris Butler's.
Wow. I mean, she can't still be part of it doing what she does, right?
I don't know because I'm not on the inside of that, so I'm not seeing how their family is like their family dynamics are. But it's common knowledge that Chris Butler is interested in getting influences in politics.
Well, of course.
So, and everybody has a very especially people raised if you were born and raised into science of identity, you have a very strict expectation about your course in life. Like if you're a woman, you would be very lucky, like any woman, to have an assigned duty outside of cooking and cleaning.
You had breeding.
Yeah. So people who are especially talented, like Chris Butler, can assign them to do a different job. And Mike Gabbard, already proficient in politics.
Be very interested to know if they were still involved in this kind of a cult.
I could say 100% yes, but I could tell you what would be expected.
I mean, I could tell you at the very least.
There's a really strong there's a layer of stuff that if you're not in this group, they don't tell you about
anything. Very secretive. Yeah.
If you're just what they call a karmi, somebody who's not becoming spiritually purified, you're just any average person.
What's a karmi?
They're not going to tell you anything. A karmi is like a person who's not self-realized at all. Somebody who has no idea what Krishna consciousness even is, let alone at any level of trying to seek to come to it. Just an outsider.
Is it one of those cults that you think you're better than everyone else because you're enlightened, similar to what Scientology does to people?
Yeah, I think it falls into that category.
Oh, okay.
I mean, people were told not to worry about there was a young man there who was from Montreal, and his parents were very upset and they wanted to come get him, and they just told him, don't worry about what demons think, because his parents were demons. They never did come out, but yeah, that must have been an interesting drama right there.
So the cult encourages othering everyone else.
Oh yeah, there's totally.
Okay. All right. So you're not
Like your parents are demons, and everybody else is at best, just a karmi, just walking around, getting all their karmic debt, eating, chows and kicking their mother. Just bad people, just generally bad people, not really,
vegetarian
really
or do you just no cow?
Vegetarian.
Okay.
Vegetarian.
see karmic debt. I've heard that before.
Mhm.
That's a strange little slang term. But I was going to say, I mean, it makes perfect sense why the guy from Montreal was there. I mean, he was from Montreal. Sorry, it's a Canadian joke. I'll let it go.
I'm not Canadian. I don't understand the joke.
Montreal already is a cult. They have walls.
Oh, I don't know.
Montreal.
See, I don't know. I'm an ignorant American.
That's all right. It's the Frenchy part of Canada, and I'm from
It's
Alberta.
the Frenchy part of Canada.
The Frenchy.
You got a lot of hippies.
Oh yeah, totally. We got those too. But no, it's the Frenchies, the pompous Quebecois. They speak French, and they're better than all of us.
Yeah, there were some unusual people that would come to the farm on the weekend, and like there was the whole family. They were all French Canadian, and there was something about them. They were a little extra.
Of course, there's something about them.
Yeah, they were.
I remember like the husband. He had to. I don't remember their names. Husband had to go out and get a vehicle for the family. So he took a bunch of money and he comes back and he's like riding a moped.
Please tell me they all like clamored on that.
They did. There was 4 of them.
Oh,
they all got on that moped.
That is like peak Quebec French if I've ever heard it.
Really? I didn't know that. I had no idea what was going on, but I thought it was a little weird.
Oh, dear God. All right.
There are people from all over the world that like went to the temple in California. I met one girl at the temple in California from South Africa, and then months later I'm in Hawaii. She's there too. But like that's all like kind of the party element. Like that kind of like attracts all of the like globe trotting like party kids that like want to just go hang out somewhere cheap and do some farming in exchange for like what's really just a good time. Probably like smoking like pot and dropping acid before they go to kirtans. I'm sure it's a fucking blast. And then like if you're there long enough, you start seeing like how they treat people. Like the whole thing is about like breaking down your ego. And they don't come like right out and tell you, okay, we're going to start breaking down your ego now. Now it's like slowly, the longer you're there and the more they think that you're going to want to stay, the more it's like they start treating you like shit. So you'll like get over yourself. Is the premise.
They also want you to try harder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Try harder.
Try harder. Try harder to go
harder.
up the ladder. You've been on the bottom too long. You need to try harder and get up get up the ranks.
Yeah, it was like they're super encouraging. Like you go into like the greenhouse, water tomatoes, and somebody's standing behind you. Like try harder, you disgusting princess. Disgusting. Pig princess.
Interesting.
To be precise.
That's
try harder. Yeah, they wanted you to try harder.
It's a weird motivator.
Yeah. And and they start getting the hands, grabbing and shit. They think they can somehow, put their hands on you. Pretty shitty.
Yeah.
That's just.
So were they beating
the extra
you?
Encouragement? No, just the grabbing.
Mm.
Like,
how long?
What, grabbing arms or like grabbing by the legs? Like what do you mean?
Yeah, wherever they wanted.
Okay, that sounds weird. But
how long were you involved?
altogether like 6 months. After that, I still spent time in Krishna temples for like another 10 years. But those were ISKCON temples. I finally got into the line that I was looking for.
So you were only in the extra crazy for 6 months.
Yeah. Then I just went kind of generic, mediocre, not as
semi-normal crazy.
Yeah, a little bit more, but not too far out. I reeled it in a little bit. But yeah, they're abusive as hell, especially to like the girls out there. It's, like the screaming is ridiculous. It's always screaming unless there's guests, there.
Well, yeah, they have an image to uphold, right?
But you had to like totally switch it around and act like you didn't just get, berated and possibly like grabbed and like drugged down a hill or some shit. You had to go back to, oh, I'm such a happy drama trainee. Welcome to this paradise.
Please join us. Please.
So I was told like so many times at like the highest possible octave that like Mukunda, like I didn't, these were like, it's like a lower guru. And for me, like my little area, like was this man named Garuda Johnson. Like he was my like personal first level guru. The guy who owned the farm. The guy was mean. Just fucking mean.
Yeah.
And his wife, I think she was slightly like probably more devious because she could be mean, but she masked it with a lot of like, we still love you.
Oh God, I'm getting such flashbacks. It's not even funny.
We still want you here. We just want you to be here. Why
but
aren't
you're also
like,
scummy and worthless, and we want you to be here and be your best you.
Exactly. Shit like that.
Now you mentioned having an image to uphold. We spoke a little before the show. What happens if you don't uphold that image?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't look good, so they just kind of ask you to leave.
By ask, do I mean like pick up your tent with you in it and plop you on the beach?
No, we weren't that close to the beach. We were like a mile or 6 miles.
Oh, that would have been too much effort. Pick up your own tent and go to the beach.
No, that's what they told me to do. They said that I could go stay on the beach if I wanted to, and like if I wanted to come up on Sunday and eat pizza and hang out, like I could come back anytime I want to, but like could I please like sleep a little further down the beach than right here?
Wow.
Because like you're totally like people are getting bummed out when they see you walk around like all sad.
Yeah, so they'd broken you down, and instead of it encouraging you to throw yourself, to try harder, it just made you depressed, and so they're like, "Hey, can go away."
Well,
you're
in my
downer,
mind,
man.
The way I saw it, like where was I going to go? I only got a one-way ticket. I intentionally cut off all ties when I was like, I'm going to Hawaii on a one-way ticket. I'm never coming back. I don't have any family anyways. Oh shit, now I'm stuck with a bunch of abuseful hippie assholes.
So where did you end up going afterwards?
I hitchhiked into Pahoa. It's just a little like Hawaiian small town in between Hilo and Opi'ikau, where the farm is. And I called my mother, as one does. And she told me, like, she had this whole thing. I'm going to, like, come send somebody to pick you up. They'll take you to the airport. Like, she had the whole thing planned out. Like, she'd been working on it. Because I've been calling her from, like, when we did laundry, I would go call my mom and tell her what was going on.
I think any parent would do that.
Yeah, so she had like the whole thing planned out, the deprogrammers and the whole escape. It was very Hawaii Five-O, very entertaining on paper. And she's like, all you have to do is go to the police station. I had just
Meanwhile, they
hitchhiked.
kicked you out.
No,
They,
look,
you wanted to go home anyway.
In small areas in Hawaii, like everybody smokes pot. Everybody smokes you out. Like if you're hitchhiking in that part of Hawaii, that's like part of the deal. Like, okay, we smoke and then we go. Like I was blazed, completely stoned out of my mind. I just like left the cult farm and I'm just wandering around this small town in Hawaii. And my mom's like, "Yeah, go to the police. They'll tell you like where to go and who's going to pick you up." I go into the police station and they're like, "Why the fuck? Why the fuck did you come all the way out to Hawaii?" Like completely oblivious to like most people, they want to take a vacation between college semesters. You know, they go like on a vacation. They don't just get a one-way ticket to an island in the middle of the Pacific and abandon themselves there. They couldn't give a shit. Like they're like, "What do you want us to do? Give you a taxi ride into town?" Like I had to hitchhike into Hilo where the airport was.
I mean, at least you weren't there for very long.
Nah, like 9-10 hours. But I hitchhiked a ride in for this guy who was going there for like this huge like karate championship.
Okay.
Like in the hotel, like that this whole karate tour thing that just happened to be there at the time. So I hitchhiked in and like stayed with them for the night. The karate like tournament guys. And then the next day I went to the airport and then went back to Oakland. I went back to Oakland.
Another thing you had mentioned is that similar to Scientology, these guys have the whole fair play doctrine.
Oh, yeah. Like I know like a reporter, she lives in Oahu, I think, and she's been doing a lot of investigative reporting after members there in Hawaii, and they've been harassing her, like following her around. They reported her for like animal neglect, and so they could take her dogs, but like they didn't. They took the lug nuts off of her car in the middle of the night or something.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Like they're really serious.
That's kind of crazy.
Will they try to kill her?
I don't know. I don't want to like say no, but like there was a murder in Hawaii of a guy that was a member. Like the member murdered somebody with his boat or killed somebody with his boat, and I don't know. They got like manslaughter charges or time served.
Manslaughter, I think, is if it's accidental. So
yeah, I think it was deemed an accident, but there was like a huge controversy, and I think that's when Christina got involved with Signs of Identity and started like looking into them, and they started looking back into her. I would probably say Scientologists are more proficient.
Oh yeah, God,
at their like harassment. Honestly,
I would think so. They've got it down to an art.
In Signs of Identity, I think that they usually go with like their first option is just to shun you. It's just like a shunning, like for people that leave or people like everybody that leaves and then like says anything about what happened when they were living there. It's just the irony is like when they were trying to explain to me that like I had to leave because like they wouldn't get any more recruits, they wouldn't get any more students. They were afraid that if I didn't leave then that like they would have no chance of building the farm up anymore. And then like 20 years later, the whole farm got like covered in lava. Like it's gone. There was an explosion like a few years ago, and it took out the entire farm. Like, there's a whole series on YouTube, the Garuda Life After Lava, where he's like begging for money.
Oh my God.
For like, which is crazy because like all of that property, it really belongs to Chris Butler. Like all of those businesses, all the property, the farms, because every like devotee gives over their property, right? Everything there belongs to him. But he's having to go and crowdfund thousands of dollars from the public.
Is he making it?
I don't know. Probably. I kind of like harassed his YouTube account, so I don't know that he even uses it anymore.
He probably blocked you.
Probably. So I have no idea. He was a pretty like nasty person. Like the screaming was just constantly screaming at me. How was I supposed to like, I guess some people react well. They go, oh, okay, I think I'll try harder when you scream at them. To me, no. I was just like, fuck you. I'm stuck here. This shit sucks. But like, no. I spent like my whole childhood getting screamed at. Why the fuck would I care if this guy's screaming at me? Like,
but put on a happy
got, like,
face.
So like bummed out, so like sad and depressed and like disappointed, right? Because that was supposed to be like, oh, I don't have a family. These people are so accepting and loving, and I'm gonna finally have a family. And they're a bunch of fucking assholes. I was like, my real family is a bunch of assholes. Like,
if I wanted
didn't go
that,
anywhere. I got the same fucking thing. Only you're just a bunch of hippie assholes. My dad was a conservative, like straight-laced, like not really, because he smoked a fuckload of pot. Like my dad smoked pot like all the time, and he drank a lot of whiskey. But he also put off this persona that he was like really straight-laced, and there were certain rules for women. I think maybe my dad was just a severe misogynist.
Yeah, a lot of them are.
Because there were like certain rules for women like that I was expected, like, and there was like some crazy ass punishments. You know, like my dad used to cut my hair off if I like did something like disrespectful enough, like he just shaved my whole head. So like I just came from crazy.
Yeah, the head shaving thing. Ugh.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to cut women's hair except to humiliate them, apparently.
Anon, you also grew up in a cult.
Yeah, a little more well-known cult, but yeah.
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah.
I don't know that much about them. My aunt was a Jehovah's Witness, and I noticed like the weird thing was that like she had to put on this image that she was not with her husband because her husband was black.
No, they're not like that. If you had a
she had to separate from her husband though.
Like, was he worldly? Like not part of if he wasn't part of
like the whole family rumor was, because we couldn't understand why they didn't get married.
If he wasn't a Jehovah's Witness too, that would be why. Not because he's black. They don't care. That's something they don't give a shit about. Nope, anybody. They'll recruit anybody. Race does not matter.
That's the only thing that I know or have heard of to do with the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah, no, they're very all accepting cult. Anybody. They'll take anybody. Their publication is in every language available.
Well, that would make sense.
Mm-hmm. Bolster their numbers. They
don't. That probably had more to do with my like family's race issues.
Probably because Jehovah's Witnesses by and large they don't give a shit what your race is as long as you join them.
Yeah, they just want the numbers.
Yeah, they do.
You gotta figure they can't be too picky if they had Anon.
I was born into it. They didn't have a choice.
Right. Hey, Honestly, I feel like the person who should be here is Rama. Rama could tell you a lot more about what goes on now. Because this, when I lived there, I was there when those planes hit those buildings in New York City.
Twin Towers,
Yeah,
9/11.
yeah, I was in Hawaii, and it was super surreal because like they had a television in like the house. Like there's a house up on the hill, and then there's like the temple and where everybody else lived on the bottom of the hill. So they saw it on the news, but like nobody else found out about it until like the newspaper. Like somebody had to drive out and pick up a newspaper. We had no idea what was going on. It was like the next day.
Oh wow.
And then we turned into like this button making factory for like 3 weeks. We were doing nothing but making God Bless America buttons.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they had like some big parade, and apparently we drew the straw to make the buttons. I have no idea. All I know is that I was like stuck cutting little God Bless America circles out of like, printer paper for like 3 weeks, and it sucked.
I bet. I made buttons for a convention, and we had I have a little press. It's annoying.
Also, just like my illusion of like living in like Hawaii and like this like weird blue lagoon like fantasy I thought I was trying to play out, living in Hawaii was just completely destroyed because it's so damp there and like nothing ever dries, and I am like really allergic to mold. So I was like sick the whole time.
Oh, that put a damper on things.
Yeah, I was like constant sinus infections.
That's unfun.
Oh. So yeah, you wouldn't want a vacation in tropical areas.
I was no. I realized that that's not the vacation destination for me.
Sounds like
It's
you
a
need to
little
move up
drier.
to the north.
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah, a little bit north of the equator. Drier. This place drier. I was a kid and I was in college and I was reading way too much like beatnik literature and experimenting with everything. I was just literally just this dumb, wild teenage kid, like floating on the fucking tide to wherever the hell I landed. And I happened to land in a cult in Hawaii.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that at the time it made sense.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, back then. Actually, there's a lot about it that like I loved. Like I was hitchhiking down this highway in Hawaii, like sitting on my suitcase at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's like a warm rain, so it's not uncomfortable for like 4 hours before I got a ride, and it was a car full of like nuns. like the whole thing was just like have you ever seen Harold and Kumar like go to White Castle?
Yeah, I have it. I have seen it.
It was kind of like a whole night just like that, but stretched out into like 6 months. Just one weird ass surreal situation after another that doesn't make any sense, and it's just totally insane. And if you told anybody, they'd be like, dude, you're fucking weird. What the hell's wrong with you? Like I have a million stories of people react just like that. Like why, how? Like how you seem smart. Like why the fuck would you be there?
Yeah. Well, at least you get some interesting stories out of it.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah, I guess that's comparable.
Yeah. Everything was always so tumultuous. That's just my life. It's just one surreal thing after another.
Yeah, it definitely sounds that way. So, you get out of the cult. What's your life like after that? Like, you just
Well, interesting. Yeah, I went back to Oklahoma and I went back to college because they let me back in. I had been away for a sufficient amount of time, and then I was on like double secret probation. And I don't know. I went back to I started going back to classes like instead of just goofing off and like playing hacky sack with the guys that play the guitar like down in the little oval areas and stuff. Like I started actually taking my classes, but it was kind of really too late. Oh, I started looking at other places I wanted to travel to. I'd like sit up in the library like all night talking to people from different parts of the world and just make plans of places I wanted to go. After I finished the first semester, I went to Boston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I traveled out to Boston and I lived there for a little while. Did a lot of reading.
Did a lot of studies.
Yeah, eventually I decided I just didn't want to be in college anymore.
Right.
So I planned to like leave Oklahoma, and I took a bus out to Albuquerque and sold jewelry in coffee shops. And then I raised up enough money to take a bus out to Tucson, where I backpacked for like 7 months.
Ooh. Sounds like it was quite the experience.
Yeah, I stayed up on Mount Lemmon for 4 days with 2 gallons of water and a holy like rain jacket.
A holy rain jacket.
Yeah, it had holes all over it. It was just like ripped all over the place. Not like the holy rain jacket. Like yeah, the sacred rain jacket on the mountain.
That's what I thought you meant.
I found it like a nice little sandy place to like set up like my little lean-to with like my books.
I thought it was like when you were describing it, I thought it was like the Mormons' magic underwear. It's like
no, yes, the holy rain poncho.
I mean, is that a thing? Like,
I went out there and I stayed on the top of the mountain for like 3 or 4 days, and I hadn't realized that I had set up my whole camp on the other side of a rock to where like everybody comes up there to do their like shot like practice, target practice.
Okay.
The first night that I like fell asleep there, and it was like raining really, really hard, and I'm just like sitting out in the middle of nowhere on top of a mountain, like freezing my ass off in the rain, and people are out there like they take computer monitors and stuff and like shoot them for target practice. It was interesting. Yeah, I just kind of moved on to other ill-advised adventures.
But you've managed to stay out of cults since then.
I think so.
I think you'd know if you were in one.
I mean, would you though? She's been in 2 already. Maybe she's just not that clear.
I actually kind of noticed a lot of ex-cult members end up going from one right into another one.
I sold like Organa Gold coffee for a few months.
So you were in a pyramid scheme after.
Very briefly. It lasted like about 6 weeks because I drank all my samples. I'm really shitty at that kind of thing.
No kidding.
Like I did the same thing in 7th grade when they were recruiting us to raise money to go to Washington, D.C. by selling candy bars. I took them home and ate them all. And then I brought back the empty box, and they gave me another one, and I took those home and did likewise. I suck at cells. The only reason I would buy like a Mary Kay cell kit was to use it. I don't like selling things. I
Well,
would
that requires some
suck.
human interaction, and who needs that?
Right. I would suck at recruiting for a cult. Like, they really did make the right choice, because I was really bad for their business model.
Yeah, if you couldn't recruit, that's like the number one thing they need you for.
And I could scare everybody away, but I think that's the opposite of what
I was getting used for recruiting like as soon as I was old enough to. Well, they took me when I was a newborn, so right away, basically.
I might have been. Like, imagine if I had been more charismatic.
No, I was a baby.
I would be like right now, like going around, helping people die at the nursing homes.
People are less likely to slam the door in your face when you're carrying a baby or you have a small child with you. So they do really like Jehovah's Witnesses. They really like to take kids with them door to door.
I've noticed.
I usually.
The
Mormons usually send like these, like, they look like teenage boys to me.
Yeah, why is it always teenage boys like on bikes?
And they're really, really eager to like do anything possible.
I'm sure there's reward for
they
like
came
how
over,
much, right?
Yeah, they came over once and they're like, is there anything we could do to help you? Like, sit down, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, my house is a mess. You want to clean it? And they're like, okay, yeah, let's get going. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I was really hoping that would, like, deter you from further communication. They helped me with my bicycle once. Like, that seems to be their model. Like, they're so helpful. They're very helpful people.
Oh, yeah. Anything to get you to join.
I guess. I went to one of their Halloween parties and it was the weirdest experience ever. It's like right up the street from my house here, and they've got a wall of like cases of Dr. Pepper. I'm like, I didn't think you were allowed to drink this. And then they've got baskets and baskets of chocolate. I'm like, and then I'm walking down the hallway with my mother, and they've got witches, like cartoon witches, like attached to the wall. I'm like, what kind of Mormon church is this? Really? This is like super recruiting day. Like, you're not allowed to have any of this stuff. Like, the Dr. Pepper is full of caffeine. The candy is full of caffeine. You've got witches on the walls.
Are Mormons not allowed caffeine and stuff? I thought
they're not supposed to drink caffeine.
Oh, there's a facet of Christianity. It starts with a P. I can never remember the actual name. I thought it was them that wasn't allowed all that stuff. No dancing and stuff either.
Baptists are not allowed to dance.
Baptists?
Yeah, you're thinking of Puritans.
No,
she was thinking of the charismatics, the holy rollers, the Pentecostals.
Pentecostals, thank you. That's it. That's the one.
A big chunk of my family that are Pentecostals.
Yeah, that's it.
They all have long hair and they wear really long, like, denim skirts, very modest.
Yeah, I always thought it was that facet that wasn't allowed.
They get pretty wild in their church service, so.
Yeah, I have an aunt and uncle that are Pentecostal. We don't see them much for obvious reasons.
I think that's probably how people get drawn to the charismatic, like, movement. Like, just like I was drawn to, like, the whole, like, my personality was drawn to the ritualistic, like, the drumming and the chanting and dancing and stuff. Like, some people have a personality that are, like, drawn to that kind of
every cult has
activity.
Its draw. There's reasons for its growth.
Yeah.
Like, Jehovah's Witnesses are growing pretty rapidly right now.
Are they really?
Yeah, it scares the crap out of me, actually. But whatever. That's not really anything I can do about it. So
It's weird to see these groups that to most of us are so obviously on the fringe, end up so successful. You guys have both been in cults at some point. Jimmy, I'm sure, will be at some point in the future.
A
No.
mayonnaise cult.
What cult?
If somebody was looking
Mayonnaise.
to start a cult to maybe find some of these downtrodden individuals and build a following, how should they go about doing so?
It's really not very hard.
It's probably like one of the easiest things in the world.
Yeah.
Although, like, I put a lot of thought into this, and I kind of started like experimentally, like in my mind about this whole thought for like the last year or so. Like really around the time like Tulsi Gabbard like started campaigning for president, and it just kind of brought everything back. Because I hadn't really thought about it for like years and years. Like if you're asking me if like this whole cult experience just like was devastating, had like a devastating effect on my psyche and my life, I would have to say no. Like it really hasn't been that hard to like move past it, but like that's just me, like my personality. I'm 100% sure there's other people who were just completely devastated, like suicides and stuff like that. Like there were people that like asked to come back into the group after being shunned and told no, and have killed themselves. Like I know it gets like for some people a lot deeper and crazier and like more life-changing, but I honestly, like, it wasn't that hard for me.
You're very lucky.
It didn't destroy my life. It didn't turn me into another person. It was an incredible experience, and at times a little scary, but I'm not stuck on it.
It's a good thing you got out unscathed, because most people don't.
I mean, life's scathed. I was scathed by life in general.
Yeah, because you were already scathed. The cult was just more of the same for you, it sounds like.
Right. I mean, the people who like I've noticed that like were there, like their lives, they weren't coming from places like me, in the sense that like I came from like this broken background and I was like seeking. Like a lot of them were just like middle class, kids. Like one was supposed to be working on like medical school. The others were just like, they weren't like me. Like I don't know what they were looking for, but I mean, I almost like I was auditioning for the role of like cult victim. Like that's they weren't like that. It's just maybe something to think about. Like those other kids, and like literally all of them Canadian, all of them. I don't know why Canadians go to Hawaii and decide just to like tear up their passports.
Well, because it's warm there and it's very cold here. I completely understand it.
That's the only reason why. It's just too fucking cold in Canada, man.
I guess, yeah, because
Let's join the Hawaiian cult.
Fuckload of illegal Canadians in Hawaii. It's like
joining this weird little cult.
Some of them, and some of them were just traveling.
Well, I know when I was in Mexico for a couple months, there was tons of Canadians there, but it was like December and January. So
yeah, we all want to leave. Well, I say we loosely because I actually really like the snow in the winter and stuff. But
I've come to realize when I was in the tropical weather is that my internal body chemistry or clock or whatever it is set to the cold, and so I wake up. It was so surreal. I wake up every morning expecting to see snow outside my window, and it was just a tropical paradise. And like something's not right here. Like the first month I got through, and then it's like I can't take this. Nothing makes sense.
And British, there was so many British in Hawaii.
Oh, that too. I've saw.
Well, it's a super popular global vacation destination. It shouldn't be that shocking.
Well,
it was a really small town.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Well, what I noticed, going back to the whole Mexico thing again, is what I noticed with the Canadians, they were all like middle-aged people, but for some reason, all the Brits were older, elderly people.
Trying to escape the damp.
The only British man that like really like stuck in my memory, like It's this like old British taxi driver that goes out to the farm once a year, and he was like a horribly like unpleasant person.
So British.
Yeah. It's like, he comes out there
that's
like
mean. I'm
1
sorry. I
week a
apologize.
year, and he does like this whole like he's carrying around this tea set like on a tray. Like it seems like all day
As you
long.
do.
Like every time I
Wait,
saw him,
he's
he was
literally
carrying
carrying
around
a tea
a
set?
tea. This whole like tea spread.
Is
Like,
he selling it?
No, he's just going around having tea all day.
What
Like
the
every time I
fuck?
turn around, he's got the damn tea tray, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have some tea."
That's an insane stereotype.
But he was
That-
doing it. He
He's a
was
walking.
doing it.
Yeah, dude, way to feed the stereotype. Walking, talking stereotype. What the fuck?
Every single time I turned around, he had that tea tray.
Oh
Like
God.
we had to do like the 4 hours of like pulling weeds and whatever, but then like between those times, he was always holding a tea tray.
Oh my God.
And he was such a horrible snob.
I
He
Like,
would only
he's
talk to like
he's a
2
literal
people.
walking stereotype.
There was 2 people in the whole farm that he would have any more than like 5-second conversation with.
Wow.
And he was like dark. But I knew he was like just tanned. Like he went out there to get a tan.
Maybe that's what he had the tea tray for. He was shiny. He was reflecting the sun into his face.
I think that might have had part of it. Maybe. But
I'd hope so.
other than
Because
there was
like,
the weird Swedish guy. This very strange Swedish guy who was there like to like renounce, I don't know where he thought he was, a Buddhist temple, maybe. He came there to renounce everything. Like, I'm come here to renounce the world. And then he got in like a shit ton of trouble because he like took Garuda's hat.
oh my God.
Like Garuda explodes because this like renunciated Buddhist Swede has stolen his like farming hat, and he was like, it was crazy. You know, like, oh, there's your renunciation. Like, how'd that work?
Oh my God, that's
I
special.
don't think you're in the Buddhist temple that you expected. Apparently, he thought that's what that was. Oh, that was crazy. I had to give him my tent because there was nowhere else for him to sleep. I had to go sleep underneath. There's a like a truck bed, you know, like the seat inside of a truck, and they take that and they put it like underneath the garage, so like it's overhanging, but you're not getting rained on. And that's where I slept for like the week that he was there. And he like cut up the inside of my tent. After I got it back, I got bit by centipedes every single night.
Why'd he cut holes in your fucking tent?
I have no idea. The guy was nuts. And
clearly he carried around a fucking tea tray all day.
No, this is the Swede.
Oh, the Swede,
British guy.
Yes,
the Swedish guy. When they told him he had to leave, he like did this whole dramatic, like putting a knife to his throat and making a scene thing.
Oh, he was
I guess that's what he cut
my. Make him leave?
I don't know. I guess recruiting that month was tighter than usual.
Oh yeah, that sounds like someone. Crazy. That sounds like someone they could have used. Like they just needed to weaponize that crazy for.
That was in the first couple of weeks that I was at the farm. It was one of the first like what the fuck like moments for me where I realized like maybe I should like look up and see what I've just done, kind of thing, because I have this habit of kind of flaunting and bouncing around like an airhead and finding myself in like really messed up situations.
Sounds that way. Hey, you know something I just dawned on me. I never asked. How, like, you were 19 when all this happened. When was this? Like
2001.
2001. Oh, okay. Definitely a decade or so ago.
It was. I was in Hawaii a month because it was like July. I was there in July.
So this definitely put a damper on the idea of going to Hawaii and all that. So I doubt you'd ever go back.
I think I would probably try to arrange a little better like accommodations.
Yeah, let's
'Cause you
not go
really
and
get
stay with
what
the
you
cult.
pay for.
Yeah, like you can go
I was
to
looking
Hawaii
for,
and
like-
just not
Like,
join
go to a
cult.
resort, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
honestly, like, yeah, I wanted to go to Hawaii really, really bad. And that was a way to go to Hawaii and, like, be broke because I didn't have to pay for, like, a hotel room or rent a place or go to a hostel. I had a free farm, like, with a side of
So what you're
abuse.
saying is I can get a sort of free vacation if I go and join this cult for a couple of weeks and hang out on
Yeah.
the beach?
Yeah,
Sweet.
I mean, that was a factor in my motivation.
I remember what cult life was like. I could fake it for a couple of weeks for a free vacation.
Yeah, I was there for like 3 months in Hawaii and like 3 months at the temple in California.
Yeah, I could see that. That'd be an
I
interesting.
mean, it was a real
vacation.
roundabout way of getting the cheapest possible vacation you can.
No kidding. No kidding.
A
Wow.
lot of people do it. I went to college with this girl from France. That's all she did. She could do a
Join
semester.
cults?
No. She would go to school for like every semester, and then she would work the whole time, and then she would just get on a plane and go somewhere during the break between classes, between like winter and spring.
But
and
did
summer.
she join cults to get them for free?
Yeah,
No,
like
no.
you're just
Paid for
describing
everything.
travel.
Yeah.
I was getting I was poor. What the hell, dude? All my friends were like rich, like their families were like paying for these like trips.
What was the,
and they
what was the
paid
name
for
of
their own
this?
tickets and
What
like
was the name of this cult again?
science of identity.
There you go.
Yeah, it definitely seems like a fucked up cult.
It really sounds like Scientology with another name, but they don't want money.
It does.
So they don't want money. Scientology is very much about you need to give us money to make you feel better.
Well, I mean, it helps if like you own property and you have money that you can contribute.
Yeah, but see, generally when you have money, you got less reason to join a fucking cult.
Not always. Lots of people with a lot of money, they don't feel like they have a purpose because they don't have to do anything.
Yeah,
That
there
sounds. Like,
How do you understand that?
I can see. I can see why you'd feel purposeless, but I feel like if you have the money, you could do something better than join a cult.
But that's why a lot of celebrities were joining Scientology because they have all this fucking money and no purpose, right? But I mean, they're actors. At least they were giving something. They were giving us art, but still, like, I guess it must have filled the void of essentially, I could live my life right now and never work ever again, never do anything ever again. Maybe it makes them feel empty. I don't know.
Why are these people looking at that as a bad thing?
I don't know, because they've never been poor.
Or
You tell me tomorrow, hey, you could quit right now, never work again. I'm not gonna feel shitty about that.
Oh no,
Well,
me neither. But that's because we know what it's like to work.
Well, I mean, there's also the case of like think about people who win the lottery. A lot of people,
They go crazy.
well, they go crazy, and sometimes they commit suicide because the money
Yep.
ruins their life.
Yep.
And with a lot of these actors, a lot of them didn't have a lot of money. Like when you're starting off as an actor, you make shit money. You make as much money as working a dead end job. That's how much money you make until you get that one good role that makes you a lot of money. And then life changes, and some of them can't cope with it, and they end up trying to find meaning in other ways, like either in money and or like with booze and stuff, or women. It just
Yeah,
that's
like,
why
can't you just do drugs like a normal person?
They
Well,
probably
lots
do.
of them do that too.
And that fucks them up even further.
Yeah.
I mean, look at I can't remember her name for the life of me. The woman who played Princess Leia in Star Wars. She went to drugs. I think you see her in the more recent Star Wars movies. She's having trouble speaking. That's a life
What?
of drugs.
Who?
Carrie
I can't remember her
Fisher.
name. Thank you, Carrie Fisher, the actress who played Princess Leia in the Star Wars movies.
She did what?
A lot of drugs.
After the Star Wars movie, she did a lot of drugs.
Right?
And if
You know how I know she's fucked up, Carrie Fisher? I met her before she died, and she liked my hair. So we know there's something really wrong with her.
Yeah, I didn't need
There's
to
a
know
whole
that
other head
Princess
trip
Leia
with
was a
like
fan of the
people
faux
that
hawk.
are
Yeah,
like
no, she liked the
celebrities,
Mohawk.
like really
Sorry.
rich people and movie stars and shit like that are like they're attracted to that. It has a lot to do with like the money. They have more money than they know what to do with, and like
Well, there's a
they
lot of abuse. There's a lot of abuse in
that's a
Hollywood too,
weird
right?
fucking environment. Like
Yeah,
I
especially in
wouldn't want
Carrie
to be part
Fisher's
of it.
case.
I would
Like
not want to be any part of that. Like that is like
Hollywood in
there's a
itself is a bit
weird
of a
ass
cult.
energy there.
Well,
It's just a weird fucking energy.
there's a lot of strange stuff. I mean, we're talking about people who didn't have much, and then they have more money than they know what to do with. It tends
Very
to ruin some.
exclusive cult.
Yeah,
It does tend to go that way.
and there is abuse in Hollywood, though. Like,
there's sorry,
Go
go for it. I was just going to say, like, there's abuse, but there's also a little bit of insanity. Because remember, you tend to think like, what legacy are you going to leave to the world, and then they tend to start to think of things that way. Because now I have all this money, I can make all this stuff happen, and then they start. There's like cults, and then there's like bizarre ideologies. I don't know if any of you have heard about this thing going on right now called the Great Reset.
Yeah.
With all the rich people, and they think they can change the world, and so they're doing it right now. And that's why we're having all these lockdowns.
I've seen that word here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a handful of countries that want to essentially globalize the government. That's what the Great Reset is
like
supposed to be.
A one world government, and they're trying to force things to change, and they're calling it rebranding or rethinking capitalism, but really it's just a type of socialism in a one world government. That's why we're in these lockdowns and why people are fighting against their governments right now, because the government people
seems dramatic.
It does, but you have to remember a lot of the people who make up the government, from mayors to senators and all that, they're all multimillionaires, and they all feel the same way because all these people got in and they're filthy rich. They don't need to be politicians, but they think they can make a change. That's why they became politicians. And these are all these rich people who all think the same way, and they think that we need to change the world, and so that's why they're doing this Great Reset. That's why this whole lockdown has nothing to do with a disease or a virus, and it has everything with global socialism. I know it sounds like a conspiracy, but if you look at all the people who, it's called Davos in Switzerland, which is where they have all these meetups, and they're the people who set up the Great Reset. All the rich people who are our politicians went there. So they're all gathering, and they all talked about this.
I doubt it would be very successful because public opinion about it is very negative.
Indeed. Well, in the years to come,
this is bad. This is a bad thing.
Yeah, people are fighting back, and that's good. But you have to remember they already had a huge victory because one of their big guys just became president of the United States, and who knows? One of their biggest heavy hitters in the Great Reset group is now president of the United States, Joe Biden. So they got a huge victory.
It's really confusing. Like I had no idea what that's about. Like, I'm trying to like kind of keep my head like on like my own channel. You know what I mean?
That's a good idea.
Politics could probably fuck my head up and have me in like places I don't want to be. Like, unless it's like super important. Like I do want to know what's going on. I don't want to be like a total like airhead and like be completely disconnected from reality.
I wouldn't feel too bad.
Like that sounds like a really shitty film, and I'm not sure I really want to watch it.
It's probably not going to be successful. Like we as a species are way too combative with each other to even consider having a global government. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, probably not. Plus, like, we don't do things like historically. There's the occasional kind of like bubble bursting, like revolutionary periods, but for the most part, things don't change that.
No, not that drastically. No,
that fast. Like you see it more as a progressive change over like looking down the timeline from like, oh, where were we in 1900? Where are we in 2000? Where are we in 2021? Yada yada. Like I'm not afraid of like what's going on because like things kind of expand in the same like rhythmic way, and I think I'd get at least some heads up before like that big of a massive cultural revolution. Besides, they happen. They're like getting, a cold sore
historically speaking,
on the lips of human timelines. There's a cold sore there. It's a Bolshevik revolution. Oops. You put a little ointment on it, you move along. Right?
I'd foresee us all killing each other before we'd come together and try and make a global government, honestly.
Well, and anytime it's ever been tried in the past, it never works.
No,
and
it's
even,
not gonna.
Well, and the closest they ever the closest they ever came to was like the Great Empire, the British Empire back in the day, and it couldn't be done because it's too expensive to do and it's far too complicated to manage. So it's never going to work. But there are groups trying.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough they don't have enough public support to actually make a real go of it. So let them do whatever the fuck they're gonna try and do, because it's if it sticks, I'd be floored, like just gobsmacked, because nobody wants it.
Yeah,
I know it sounds like a non thing.
They're trying. That's a thing that's happening.
Event.
They're definitely trying, but the odds of success are so low. I don't think it's anything to really worry about right now.
Everybody is always kind of like their movements are all movementing at the same time. I think that the trick is like getting everybody hung up on their own like fear. Like they're afraid that this thing is going to happen. There's always this thing, and it's just about to happen. Like you're just a couple more weeks. Oh, it's almost here. Like this thing, and it's a scary thing that's going to happen. And like to prevent that, we need your support in, whatever like community it is. That happens all throughout like history. And then, an uprising occasionally happens, pitchforks and, torches. And shit.
Yeah, the peasants finally have enough of the elites fucking around, and they revolt, and then everything goes back to normal for a while.
Yeah, and then like after the plague in medieval, Europe, they had their whole like Renaissance, right?
Yeah.
Like so, we just like look forward to the Renaissance that's coming after this like.
I'm just gonna move out in the middle of nowhere.
Well,
I used to think that I wanted to live like somewhere like really far up north that's like super duper cold, but then like this weekend my pipes all froze.
Why would anyone think
like
that?
I'm really strongly reconsidering
I think that idea. I bought property. I'm out of here, man.
I might need a more
why would that even be a thought that would cross somebody's mind? Hey,
more north.
It might be cool to live in the fucking cold.
Yeah, cold's nice.
I have no idea.
Cold's excellent.
Maybe it's just like my general like searching for adventure. Like that's really like what gets me into all of these.
Go up north, build an igloo.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's no pipes to freeze.
Yeah, that sucks. Like but
there's
really
no
sucks.
pipes. It's all snow. It's fine. It's all ice. Good.
I assume you probably have your pipes like dug differently or insulated or something.
No, they freeze.
Really?
Yeah, they freeze.
Yeah, they're just kind of regular pipes, just colder.
Yeah, they freeze in the winter. It happens. It's usually not
a
very long.
do this year. It's been like 5 years since we had. It's been 5 years since my pipes froze.
Mm.
Yeah,
so
frozen pipes aren't fun.
It's different.
It happens. It's not that bad.
No.
There's worse things. There's worse things that could happen. Pipes bursting. Now that's a problem.
That's a problem. Well,
yeah, when they freeze and then they burst. Oh, I already did that. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I know twice now.
Not twice. Hey, I don't know if it's cancer. Okay, don't freak me out. That's not even funny, man. I have to go for the mammogram on Friday. I'm not excited. Quit freaking me out.
God damn it.
Mammogram?
Don't worry. I'm sure the tumor's benign.
Oh.
I hope so.
Do I have to get you to start drinking green tea?
Bro, I'm drinking water.
Okay, fine.
I've
Water.
been drinking all kinds of things. Green powders, purple powders.
I know I need to stop drinking these energy drinks, but
Just get the
Blue
no sugar
powders.
ones. At least then you're not going to get the cancer. Drink the fake sugar.
Drinking like what I'm assuming is ground cows.
What?
What?
oh, it's not.
Collagens.
Oh, I thought you were talking.
Oh, okay. Yes, I understand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you like
yeah,
dissolve it into your drinks. It's supposed to
Yeah.
like make your skin like more elastic and your hair shinier, and
Yeah.
you jump higher and run further and
Yeah.
swim deeper. There ain't no mountain high enough. I think it's made from ground cow.
Yeah,
Bovine.
I wasn't thinking about the whole dying thing like this whole time, and then you have to bring it up. Why? Do you hate me or something?
Dying.
I'll
What did I say
let
about
you know
dying?
after you die.
You're gonna tell me whether or not you hate me after I'm dead.
Yeah, it'll be in my eulogy.
I am not sending you any more cookies. You can fuck off. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make them. I'm gonna send you pictures of them, but I'm not gonna send you any.
He got cookies, but I didn't get a sandwich. God
It's
damn it,
true,
woman!
yeah.
I still
I
haven't
haven't
gotten
sent
my
you the
sandwich
sandwich
either.
yet. Again, I blame COVID. I have money, like funds with which to send you a sandwich now. I just don't trust the postal service right now to actually overnight something. So
To be fair, I ordered something for Christmas, and I'm still waiting for it. Today.
yeah, exactly. So I don't really want to. I want you to be able to actually eat it when it gets there.
Yeah, that was kind of great though. Like all of the orders that like everybody made for like Christmas from Amazon, like everything was like a week or 2 weeks late. So it was like Christmas extended for like
a month,
3 weeks.
Well, to be fair, what I ordered was like some comics from Indiegogo, and it was from like New York or something. So it took a little while.
Did they send it regular parcel mail too?
I don't believe so, but I have a friend. He works at the post office. And he said it probably got redirected from a couple different spots, and then all the extra help they hired for Christmas, they were all laid off. Mm-hmm. So now they're working at reduced capacity.
Yeah.
So it could very well still be somewhere in like Ontario or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to wait until the mail is like more reliable. And I'm not letting you eat a moldy fucking sandwich.
Okay. Mostly because you were gonna put blue cheese on it anyway.
Yeah, but that's a different kind of mold.
Yeah.
Blue cheese is disgusting and it belongs in the garbage, but it's apparently edible, so
oh, my dad loved blue cheese.
Oh, fuck, blue cheese is
weird.
vile.
I've got like my family's weird about cheese.
I've never had blue cheese.
My grandfather, and my mother every night slice cheese and eat it and drink wine every single night.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with cheese. It's just once there's mold on it, you should probably just throw it in the garbage.
Probably. I had a roommate in college that she was French and her parents sent her cheeses. One of them got stuck in the dresser in my room for like the whole semester. It was on the bottom. I don't know why. She shoved it in there, and then I opened it up while I'm moving out, and the whole room smelled like somebody's like famunda. Like somebody's with like dick cheese all over the fucking place.
Oh my god.
I think it was blue cheese too. Yeah.
How does it take a whole semester to notice a thing of rotting cheese?
I was distracted. I just didn't open that drawer ever until that day.
Well, sometimes you just got to keep out of the cheese drawer.
It was a bottom drawer.
Full of fucking cheese, apparently.
There are so many very simple but very confusing questions here.
Like,
why was the cheese in the drawer?
We were sitting up all night in my room eating cheese and getting drunk, but I couldn't have alcohol in my room because I was under 21. So when they came through to like check rooms, she just shoved the cheese in there and grabbed her wine and like hid out the bathroom. Like there's two interconnected rooms. Just like
So instead of
ran with her
taking the
wine.
cheese with her, she took the wine with her and hid the cheese.
Yeah, instead
Yeah,
of
like she
hiding
was
the
Moorish.
wine.
I don't know. She panicked. Like I don't think there was
Clearly.
like lodge. Like she was a drunk actually. Like I remember she's like 4 foot tall, like from the French Riviera, and she weighed like 60 pounds, and she was like a terrifying drunk.
That explains the wine and the cheese.
She's French.
Drunk logic. I don't
But
know.
if she's a more experienced drinker, then
yeah, she's probably been drinking her whole life, so it's not like she was dying, but she was fucking drunk all the time.
Sounds like she's half Italian.
Should have been anything but put the cheese in the drawer.
I have no idea.
I am so bothered by this situation.
The cheese went in the drawer and the wine went with her to her room because she was old enough to have alcohol in her room. Apparently, we weren't old enough to have cheese. I don't know.
I don't think there's an age limit on cheese.
Well, it could have been one of the harder cheeses.
If you were 21, you could have wine or beer in your dorm room. I was not, so I couldn't have either.
But why hide the cheese?
I don't know. That's going to have to be a mystery that remains a mystery for the rest of your life and mine and everybody else.
When I finally do get my cult established, this is going to be one of the great mysteries we work towards solving.
Yeah, and you could do it all like Kim Jong, like Soon Il style, and say you invented it. Everybody will buy it. It'll be a great story.
See, that's one of the best things about cults is, like I said, everybody on the outside looking in can see that it's batshit crazy.
Right.
I don't know, man. Everybody thinks JWs are reasonable.
And they have this like really hilarious analogy too.
A lot of people
about like having a piece of glass that's like covered in an inch of grime, and they are having to clean that glass. That glass is like the rest of us. We're the glass with the grime, and their job is to try to clean it with a Q-tip. That was the analogy for how they, handled the outside world.
That seems like a needless analogy. Couldn't they just say, "Yo, we're gonna fix those guys"?
Mm-hmm. It would have taken less time, a lot less poetic.
It's not as poetic, yep.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't a very good analogy. Like, they're dirty glass. We gotta clean them.
Yes.
If you're gonna go the analogy route, it's gotta be more impressive than that.
Shut the door.
It doesn't for people that
she got inside.
Are like
she got inside.
People that are vulnerable to a cult. You don't have to be. If you're even a little bit charming and you promise them camaraderie, that's usually all it takes.
Okay, I'll take note of that.
Man, you could make a cult right now easily.
Oh, I'm planning to. I'm working on it as we speak.
You just have to find people who are lonely and desperate.
Hang out at a lot of bus stops.
Hey, Jimmy.
Old age homes.
After this whole COVID thing is done, there's going to be a lot of sad, lonely, depressed people. Mm-hmm. A cult can easily form from this current environment.
Oh, yeah.
And see, it wouldn't even need to be a cult. It's an alternative religion.
Well, that's the thing.
Doesn't that have a nice ring to it?
Here's the thing. Like, the reason Jehovah's Witnesses are not technically a cult, like by the definition, because they still worship God. As long as you worship God or some kind of God, it's not a cult.
What?
Personally, I believe that God is in all of us, but also none of us. But if you work hard enough, he can be in you.
Yeah, honestly, that would work on a lot of people. Get on a soapbox, go to an old age home.
Yeah, I guess old people would be a good place to start. There's the chance they already have money. And half of their minds are gone anyway.
No, they don't even need to. The people who have empty nest syndrome. So people whose kids have grown up and left, those are usually the ideal recruiters. I'm just remembering from my
So like
out in
middle-aged
service
moms,
days.
that type of
Yeah,
thing.
middle-aged moms, middle-aged dads.
Sorry. Hold on.
No, sorry.
Oh, I thought that was Jimmy. It sounded like a man coughing.
Jesus Christ.
Rude? God.
What? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cough.
No, not you.
I've been coughing a lot. It's freezing here. Very cold.
You're
Worst
fine.
storm in like
Schmeckle's
50
an asshole.
years.
So
I have a cough.
that's all right. Well, hopefully it's not the Rona.
No, it's freezing here.
Oh,
Like the air, like it hasn't been this cold in like 50 years or something.
Turn the heat up.
I do. I have it up. But I still
God.
have a bit of a cough because like I had to go outside and stuff, and
Mm,
it's crazy. You don't want the details. It's just too crazy. Too much.
Lots of snow.
Lost all of my water.
Oh God.
Yeah, I had to like.
Well, hopefully your pipes don't burst.
No, they don't burst. They expand. So when it gets warm, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
But like, I'll probably go a few days drinking. You know, I've got bottled water.
At least there's
And-
that.
Yeah. I built a compost toilet.
What?
I did. I had to build
Yeah.
a compost toilet. Like
You have
My-
got to do what you got to do.
my toilet is a skating rink. Like there's a little skating rink. Little
Is there ice in your
office-
toilet?
Yes, it's solid. The bathtub too. I
That's
took water out of my
hilarious.
washing machine, and I was trying to like fill up my bathtub so I would have water, like for when other things, you know. And then the line in the washing machine froze,
Oh my God.
so like I can't get water out of there, and all the water in the bathtub froze solid. It was like
Even with
maybe
the heat on inside your house?
yeah, there was like
That's crazy.
an inch of water at the bottom of the bathtub, and it was just like solid ice.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
With
Yeah, I
the
got-
heat on inside, I wouldn't think that would be possible.
No, I have a really, really drafty house right now, and I
No
keep trying to go
kidding.
around like plugging things up, but there's still like a cold draft, like especially in the
Oh, wait.
bathroom.
Were you posted a picture of a door that was your
Yes,
outside?
yes.
Yes. Okay,
They
you
put
have
the
they put
door.
interior doors on the outside of your fucking
They
house.
did,
No
yes.
wonder.
And it's been that way. Like I've been here for like 9 years, so like 9 years of like Oklahoma weather has like deteriorated the bottom of the door. I have to
Yeah.
like patch it up, but you know.
Do you
there's still a
own
bit
or are you
I
renting?
rent.
Don't they legally have to fix that?
They did like come out and do some repair work.
Did they give you an actual outside door?
No.
I'm pretty sure they legally have to do that.
No. I'm hoping like after the storm that's going to be like the
It must be cold
little higher
inside
up
your
on the-
house if your
I mean, it's not
fucking
that
toilet's frozen.
I have to like section off parts of the house.
Oh my God.
I like section off the back house part of the house, and then I have like a gas heater and a space heater. So like we're super comfortable. But like the back of the house is just like facing the north, which is where the outside the pipe is. That goes
You-
to the bathtub.
Mm.
and the
It
sink.
shouldn't be like that. That can't be legal. That's
I don't
Do you
know,
not have a
but,
renter's board in your state? Like
maybe.
I would assume so because that seems like
But
below.
when you're getting like really cheap rent, you tend to just like stay to yourself.
Yeah.
2-bedroom house with like a enormous backyard for $300 a month.
Yeah.
You just kind of take your bumps when things. I've
At
learned
that
to repair things like myself, like my sink.
I don't know what your financial situation is like, but at
It
that
doesn't
point,
really matter. It's
I'd
just-
start pumping money into it for my own comfort.
right.
Buy
Yeah, like, I
myself a
fix
proper
something
door.
or I replace something, and then like record it and you charge them for it. But exactly,
just
I'm not
do it
worried about
myself.
it.
for my own sanity. Most of the places I rented, I painted just for my comfort. At
Yeah.
least painted them.
the place where I'm at now, it's a duplex, and this place is scheduled for demolition.
Oh
So the rent is cheap, but the place is old.
Yeah.
But also the landlord doesn't care what happens to the place.
Well, if it's scheduled for demolition, I could see why.
Exactly. So I mean, that's why our rent is so cheap. And if we want to do any kind of like repairs, we could, ask them, but it's gonna take a while. We just figure it's faster. We just do it ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. That's my
This
thing
interview
too.
just kind of like totally went off the rails, though.
Well,
like,
I mean, we sort of concluded the cult discussion pretty, because you weren't in it for very long, right? So nothing.
No, I wasn't. I
And
met
nothing
the people in
particularly traumatic
California
happened.
in like June, and then I was in Hawaii by the end of July, and then I was back in Oklahoma before Christmas.
So were you staying with your mom at this time?
Yeah, I went back to Oklahoma and I lived with my mother, and she had just remarried, and she had another like they had their own family, sort of like step kids and stuff.
Okay.
So
So
I stayed with them briefly, and then I went back to college, lived in the dormitory again.
Okay. Well, I guess maybe we should fast forward then. Is the cult still a factor in your life now, today, after how many years it's been?
20, and
20?
only like people that I met recently, like when I was talking to ex-members when Tulsi Gabbard started running. Is that kind of like got all of these people who had been like involved with the cult after all those years to start talking. There's a lot of forums like of these people like talking about what goes on, their experiences, and like the verbal mental abuse. It's crazy. And then some of the crimes that I guess they've committed. I don't know anything about drug smuggling or like arms dealing or any of that stuff. I have no way to like verify anybody is involved with that, because why the hell would they even be talking about that in front of somebody like me anyways? Right? Yeah, I wasn't in on any of those discussions or those like groups. Well, so I don't know anything about that.
And why would you be? I mean, they wouldn't.
There's no reason. I don't want to be there. Exactly. I have no interest. I would have had to stay in the cult and like actually gotten fully indoctrinated into it.
Well, and thank goodness you didn't. So
yeah.
You never know. She could have risen up to the top and been one of the ones with power.
Probably not. I probably never would have gotten past like dishes and cooking. I'm a woman. Like, I'm seriously 99% of women and girls in ISKCON or ISKCON too, really, and Science of Identity. They never do anything like past taking care of the altar, cooking food, making flower garlands. Like that's like that's the extent. If you do anything past that, like you're like really favored. You are honored and favored and blah blah blah.
Those are like good words to remember. I'll use those.
Literally everybody else is just a servant.
I mean, I've been out for 15 years, and I still have facets of my life that are affected by that shit. So
I don't know that say
you have a faux hawk because you're still rebelling against Daddy.
Like, I'm an eccentric person. I've always been eccentric. I've always been kind of off or weird, and yeah, I probably go out and look for it. I'm just driven towards that.
Let's just join another cult. It's fine.
I mean, I might someday. I might maybe I'll start my own too. Like, maybe we'll all start our own cults. Like I was thinking about that. Like it would definitely have to be like doomsday sex cult, yoga, Middle Eastern, something in there, like a mashup.
So yoga orgies.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yoga orgies, but with the fear of doomsday looming over it all.
Well, it gives it that added drama. You know, those people who are always like the Seventh Day Adventists, you know, people like that, their worship services have like an added like doom drama theme to it. So it's a little bit more like loud, boisterous, you know, the heavy trombones. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So you get that doomsday theme in there, and it just like really drives up the whole brass section of your worship service. It's incredible.
Yeah, and it does kind of seem like it would maybe make the orgies work out a little more. I mean, if
Well,
we're
of
all
course.
going to die,
How
might
many
as
times
well
have you ever
all.
seen like a paganistic orgy scene in a film or something, and it's just like low key, you know, like just like maybe a little tasteful tambourine somewhere, right? No,
Yeah, you got to crank that
explosive,
shit up. You got to make it
right?
interesting.
Yeah, you're not playing the Cyndi Lauper album.
Right.
I don't know. I think I could still enjoy an orgy with a Cyndi Lauper album playing.
Oh, I admire that. I think
No, I think I could manage.
I think that's admirable.
It'd be half hard, but it'll work.
You know?
Or like 1995, This Is Music. This is what I call music. Remember those old albums? Every year they'd come out with one with all the most popular
Yes.
songs all together. So it's like listening to the radio, but you know, it was like making mixtapes where you had to like stop and start and stop and start, and like all that inconvenience of saving music.
So just out of curiosity, going back to the whole, like how is it handling you today? Do you how is like not this whole experience been on your ability to have faith, like any faith there now, or do you think you believe in God, or you think that this whole thing has jaded you from the whole experience?
I'm sorry, could you use that in the form of a sentence?
I'm sorry. I'm usually
He
a
wants to know
background.
if you still believe in God or not, or if you're still religious in any way.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not usually up this late. I'm not used to these late night streams anymore.
Oh God, his brain leaked out his ears there.
I'm so sorry. I'm so tired.
Okay, like honestly, like this is something that I put a lot of energy like thinking about into just naturally all my life, and the only conclusion that I've come up with is that I think the mistake everybody is making this like personification of God. Like,
Oh, was that
yeah,
it?
there is like the creator energy, because like every single thing like is created from something, like, right? The universe is expanded from like what one event, Big Bang, you know, black hole. Everything's made of, you know, atoms. There's a creator energy, you know. Like I think that is like
You're so
what
spiritual
all of
to a
humanity
degree.
from like the beginning has personified into different gods. Like every force of nature, every like event, everything that is, humanity has just personified it and made all these various gods and rules and ways to worship them.
So
And I
either
think
yes
that's a
or no
mistake.
to answer your question.
Yeah, I don't believe in God. I don't believe that there's a person called God. Like that's God. That there's God.
You're
I think that
spiritual and not religious, essentially.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that comparison, because I don't think that it really explains what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Like, yeah,
So
there's God.
you have some supernatural beliefs that are
No,
not just
not really. No, I believe that every single like thing that is, like, if I was to say like like a really janky like summary of like Stephen Hawking's like theory of everything, I would say like everything is just particles, waves, and atoms. But that is an extraordinary thing too. You don't need religion or any like story to make that any more or less like pretty amazing and incredible to think about. Like you don't need it. You don't need like, if anything, you could just say like you're God. Like you create, right? Like you're the creator. Like you could be God as much as I could be God. Like it doesn't really matter because God is not a person.
I like how you kept the hippie even though you lost the cult.
Right? Like yeah, that's just me. Like
yeah,
that's just my weirdo.
Chill.
Like I just sit around and like think about shit like this. But like no, there was no question, honestly, if whether or not I believed in a deity called God. Like I never really did.
Yeah, but
Not
what
even
about
that.
a deity called like
They must
Krishna?
not like that.
Well, growing up in like with Christian rules, you learn to just go along.
Yeah, you fake it. Yeah.
You don't believe in this. You just go along because this is what you do.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the culture that you're grown up in. Like whatever reality you're presented with, like you just kind of accept it until something breaks through that reality and shows you a possible other reality. And only then, like you're not even going to question what you're in, right?
It's all a simulation. Death to the machines.
So you accept the reality that it doesn't mean you believe in it either. So like no, I've never in my mind solidified this like belief in a personification of the spirit of God. No. I really liked like Sunday school though. That was like cool.
So
the same thing.
The religion, some parts of it was fun for you, but you didn't buy into the actual.
Dude, I made the hell out of some like those like little pebbles that you put in a fish tank, and then you like go to summer camp at church and you make crosses out of those little fish pebbles. Those are cool. Like that would be enough to like bring a lot of people in. Like
at least you had fun.
Oh, it was a blast.
There you go.
It wasn't until I got older, like sometimes being stuck in that place is kind of a blessing. Like that was funny because like I was happy there. And like everybody's like super happy, like in their like delusion bubbles.
Yeah, you're happy for a while anyway.
Until like you get old enough to question that, and then you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, you did what? And like what's crazy about it is like going back to accepting reality, like some of the abusive things that I went through as a little kid. At the time, I didn't question. I didn't go, "Oh, I'm being abused." I just accepted that because I thought that was like
it was
normal.
the norm. Yeah.
So like something like my dad did, like I don't mean to get like all like weird and awkward and uncomfortable, was like because of the rules about girls, the hair and the dressing, the modesty. And like I got caught when I was like 7 years old. My brother like walked in while I like touched myself, right?
Yeah.
And he runs and tells my dad, and my dad gets out his belt and like just like whips me across the room like with his big leather belt.
Crap.
Because I touched myself, right?
Yeah. That's a normal parental reaction to that, sure.
Yeah.
That's healthy.
I really developed a lot of like weird.
You must have some weird sexual kinks from that. It's okay.
No, I mean that's perfectly normal. Like,
yeah,
like, it's not perfectly normal, but it's sort of the natural conclusion of like going through weird shit like that.
Yeah, I get it.
I've never been this uncomfortable.
I'm so sorry.
Hey man,
well,
you
I
can't
figured you wanted at some point for the interview to get like personal, right? Like at some point.
Man, you want to talk to me about my experiences and this is making you uncomfortable? Dude, you're not ready.
Oh, don't worry, I'm ready.
You're not.
Like that's just an fortunate a fact in like these groups, that especially the ones that put women on like a lower tier of like
Yeah.
responsibilities and expectations.
So like all of them.
Not all of them, just a lot of them.
It's more dramatic and like varying degrees in different places.
Yeah.
Like I know that there are like really strict like Christian like closed in groups that do like some really weird like sex stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, like I know there are certain cults that have like some real weird shit that goes on. Certain more let's say insular cults that don't exactly breed outside the family.
Yeah.
From the sounds of it, Anon, I'm not so sure, but you don't sound like your parents were like crazy, right?
No. Oh no. 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 My parents weren't crazy. I don't.
Your dad certainly seems like he was an abusive asshole.
Yeah,
Yeah, my dad
your
was
dad
super
sounds
arrogant.
like he
My
was
dad was a
certainly
very
abusive.
arrogant man. He was very
Shaving your head and beating you is pretty abusive.
Yeah, those aren't regular things.
No,
yeah,
that's
I know
not.
that.
No, yeah.
I know that. Just trying to explain the psyche that was my father came just from a very macho mentality.
Yeah.
He idolized a weird combination of like John Wayne and Jean-Claude Van Damme and like Billy Graham.
Mm.
I can't explain that any better than that, and that's I know
I
not
get
much
it.
to work with.
I get it.
But the funny thing, I don't think about a lot of this stuff like on a regular basis. I'm not sitting around thinking about, wow, that like was so awful. Like, yeah, it was. It was. All of these experiences are what like just sets you onto your path.
I envy you so much.
I don't know if I deserve a lot of envy. I mean, I'm very disorganized.
That
Like
peace
my
of
mind
mind,
and
though,
like my environment.
that level of peace of mind, I could only dream of having.
Well, I appreciate that. I work very hard for it though. Like it takes a lot. It takes a lot. Like I do a lot of like coping skills.
Mm.
Yeah, I know a ton of them. I could write the book on them.
You should.
Meditation, plenty of water, maybe some arts and crafts.
Right.
I know
you,
all
you
about
and I are gonna talk because I think we can just like start our own cult. We'll get into it off air.
Yeah, it'll be.
If it provides peace of mind, I'll be the first joinee because I can use a little bit of that.
Tell anybody about that is like you just be like your own religion. Like that's just what I am. Like people ask me, what's your religion? What do I believe in? Like nothing really, but like everything. And I'm just like
nothing and everything.
I am like just like my own religion. I'm the religion of Robin, the temple of Robin. I don't need any like outside congregation.
No. See, I'm aiming for the congregation.
Just don't turn into a Nision, okay?
Can I still come to
Well,
the potlucks?
no. Obviously, I'm not gonna get tied up in all the shit what he did.
Well, he did try to start a cult, legitimately.
Did he really?
Yeah, for a while.
Okay, I'm gonna do it so much better than him.
I don't know, because he still has a cult following, even though he diddles little girls. So
I hope you don't take
little girls
same...
and got in a fight with Chris Hansen.
I really
that was so funny. Oh,
yeah, I hope you don't take the same attitude towards pot in your cult as he does.
Who's what?
Onision
Onision hates pot because it's illegal. But now that it's being legalized, he'll change his tune. That's how he works.
Yes, pot's been legal here for a long time.
They have the church. They have this whole like cannabis church in Colorado. But like I checked it out, like look at their website, and I like even emailed them for like information. And basically it's just a meetup of pot enthusiasts.
So it's a giant fucking hot box.
Because they don't bring the pot there. They just like they have potlucks and stuff, but then mostly they just like sit around and talk about like social justice issues and like protesting and like stuff like that.
So it's not weed. It's
not about the weed. Like I was super disappointed. I was like, dude,
boring.
the Church of Cannabis, that might be like I almost got like if that had been the Church of Cannabis, I might have ended up in another like cult.
The cannabis cult.
It's just a hipster like meetup.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it was a bummer, but like at the same time probably best because I don't need. I have it like a hiccup every once in a while, you know.
You get like you dip your foot into a cult once in a while.
I almost joined a cult again.
Oh shit.
Ugh.
I'm pretty sure this group of people
naughty, don't do that.
This group of people I've been making friends with, oh shit, they're actually a cult. Damn it.
You know, every once in a while I'm like, oops.
Goddamn third time this week.
New friends. Oh, they're cultists.
Reset.
Shit. Again?
We're not selling, you know, Naked Chef. We're not selling Mary Kay. We're not selling mushrooms in your coffee. Every once in a while, like, nope, we're not going to sell those bath salts. Like actual like bath salts. I wasn't selling bath salts. I was like selling spa products.
You sound
like I never sold shit because I'm really, really bad at it.
You sound like you might be a pretty suggestible person.
I am.
What with the multiple cults and the MLM and
constantly tripping into them.
Yeah, so you're definitely going to be my second in command.
You're getting friends in a really bad way. Cultists are not your friends.
I don't know if it's a problem, but it's been called a problem before. Where problem. Like I just like I'm very accepting, right?
I mean, as long as it's not hurting you, then it's all good.
I've been criticized. So, like a lot of family members are like, you know, sometimes you should like not say this thing or like not just go hang out with like that person.
Oh yeah. You're gonna end up kidnapped in an actual
no, just like throughout like life. Like I was always very like there are people that are like super kind of like weird, like you go into like a city and you like see them like hanging out in a park or something like that. And like most people, like they don't look at them, they just go about their business and drive away. Like I have to go out there and like
see if they want to join a cult with me.
Explore their
or see if they're part of a cult and if she can join.
I've got to go immerse myself in their world.
Just for a little bit. Like a week and then I'm good.
Yeah, anywhere from a
like
week
6 months tops.
You know, up to 3 years.
3 years. Wow, that's a long time to immerse yourself in a random cult.
No,
I can't say I ever did that.
No.
You know, I just saw this guy in the park and he looked interesting.
And I ended up in a cult with him for 3 years.
Not everything resulted in cults, though. Like
usually it was just like a 2-week long meth binge.
I've had other experiences in my life that like had nothing to do with cults at all. Like at all.
Just strange relationships for a short period of time.
Oh, I've never on vacation. No, I've probably had the most relationships that were never normal.
Right. That's probably because you enjoy like finding the weirdest looking people and talking to them.
Well, there
Kind
was
of.
like
I mean-
my one ex-boyfriend, and he only kidnapped me for 3 weeks. But
No, I dated a guy
Best spring
after I
break
left
ever.
college. Right after that year, and I left college, and I went out to the desert with like my tent and my holy rain tarp,
Oh my gosh.
and like one of the first
Holy
people
as in
that I
literal
met
holes, not
was
holy
this
as in like spiritually holy.
fire juggling fire performance artist, like juggling knives.
Okay.
And I like shacked up with him in a ditch for like a month.
Oh.
Right, and then
Like the
like,
same ditch consistently for a month.
no,
or-
there's different. Like out in the, have any of you been out to California and Arizona?
No, but I
There's
assume
all
there are
these
multiple
wash
ditches there.
systems. There's all these wash systems that like, you know, direct water away from the towns. So like it rarely rains, but when it does, it like floods the whole fucking desert. So they like put out these
Not
irrigation
how-
ditches to divert the water. Like they're also really great places to put like a tent because it literally almost never rains except like 5 times a year. So it makes really great camping like area, and sand is nice to sleep on. So yeah, we like went out in the tent out in like the desert and lived
Fun.
there like for a month.
And this time there was no cult involved.
No, absolutely not. It was a fire performance troupe, and I never joined them. I was just
Are
more
you
of a,
sure it wasn't a cult? Because I'm not sure that's a real thing.
Yeah, it is.
Of course it
Sure
is.
it is.
You never heard of Flam Chen?
I have certainly never heard of that. No.
You should look up Flam Chen.
It's like a circus.
Yeah,
I
it's a
know.
fire
I know there are
performance
people that do like the fire
Yeah, look up Flam
twirling and all
Chen.
that.
Like,
I didn't know
Yeah,
they
it's-
made fucking groups of them.
Yeah, it's like a circus.
well, yeah, it's a troupe.
Traveling circus.
We had a place to stay for like 3 weeks, and then we were out in the desert again for like another 6 months. You know, we finally got like an apartment, and I went back to college.
And, how does one adjust to being back at college after
I was
living
way
in
more
the desert.
a
serious.
cult and living in the desert? And
I was way more serious about like making really high grades. Like I was all about the college thing. Like I got super like academic. I made like straight A's and shit. And I got like scholarships, and I went to conferences like for a year and a half. It was pretty like, it was fun. Like it really like got my head out of my ass when I'd been through like, you know, a few hundred very uncomfortable nights sleeping out in a tent, freezing my ass off, that I wanted to be a little bit more serious about my class work for
Normal
a while.
adult life.
Yeah, I worked.
Indoor
I had a
adult life.
job. I worked in an office.
Wow, what a
I was
switch.
I was on the newspaper. I was in student government. I was like applying for scholarships to like join Pi Theta Kappa. Like I was all about that after I like got out of like the desert. It was a blast too. Did a lot
after
of
the
really
whole
cool shit. I won a scholarship to go to Miami Beach for 4 days. With this big like multicultural like 4-year, 2-year conference. Like all of the like big colleges from the entire country like go there for like once a year and have a
So
big conference.
you said you were trying to get into Phi Beta Kappa.
Uh-huh.
Like after being in 2 cults, like I'd be hesitant to join.
Well, that's an
any type of
academic
group like that.
society.
I know,
They don't
but,
really
Priorities
meet
are not
together.
the same.
well, yeah,
I'm sure
wouldn't
they
be
have like
fucking signing up
meetups.
for like
I knew some
AAA at
people
that
from
point.
Pi Theta Kappa, but that's an academic society. Like for the most part, they send you a newsletter, and you get to say, "Oh, I'm part of Pi Theta Kappa," and it looks really good on any application. And that's why I wanted to be a member.
Oh no, I get it. I'm just
like I
saying,
had this whole
I'd be
crazy
hesitant
ass
to
like
join
trip
anything.
that I thought I was gonna like go on to become like a journalist back then. Like I'm gonna be a journalist for National Geographic because I like spent like half my life like sitting by myself with a pile of National Geographic magazines.
Yeah, me too.
They're awesome. I love them.
It's
They were
for the
great
boobs,
magazines.
Right?
Right.
Like when I was a kid, we were like broke. So whatever
Oh my
technology was like really in at the time, I didn't have it anyways. Like we had a TV, but like I spent most of my time reading books.
Is Samaj still with us? Did
I'm
we
here.
lose him? Are you?
I'm here.
Yeah.
I was waiting for
diabetes
snoring.
hasn't taken him yet.
I was waiting for snoring.
No. I just went to the bathroom and then
You forgot how to talk for a bit there. I figured passing out was coming soon.
Eventually.
Now,
It's a
Jimmy,
little hard.
as the other guy here who hasn't ever been in a cult, what was that like?
I was like not being in a cult. I kind of wish I was in a cult.
No,
No.
no, you don't. You really don't.
No.
I don't recommend it.
No. All right.
Yeah,
don't
it's not the
Jimmy,
cult that's the
I'll get you some
problem.
pamphlets.
It's really not the cult. A cult like just by itself doesn't have to be a bad thing.
I think,
Usually
like, by
is.
definition,
Usually
there
like,
might be
9
a
times
reason
out of
you've been
10
in
it is, but
multiple.
there's got to be like
why.
like good cults. Like they're doing good things. They probably
Like
it's like
cult?
a mom group somewhere in like Portland or something like that. Like they just like make granola in the park and that's it.
Then I don't
But
think
then are
they're
they
a
a
on like
cult. I
cult?
think they
Thursdays.
just make granola.
I think they're just a granola party. There's no cult there.
Look, I have to
I
believe
am
that
genuinely
they're out
beginning to
there.
see why you
The
ended
word
up
cult,
in
I don't think
multiple.
is negative on its own. It's what the people like are doing in them. Like there's lots of little like hippie communes that like probably have some conflict and shit, but like they just make like hammocks together and like they make tofu and like everything kind of works out and people aren't like being tormented.
That
would be a cult, but it wouldn't be like
communes and not cults.
But
there was this nice little old lady who was at the bus stop with me one time, and she gave me a granola bar. And at first I thought it was odd, but then I realized that she, flipped the middle finger at anyone driving a truck. Maybe there was a cult related stuff in there. I don't know.
Maybe she tried to drug you.
I didn't eat it. That's for sure.
Why not? Was it closed or was it like homemade?
No, it was something you buy at the store. It was a granola bar, like from one of those.
Was it not open?
No.
So it was unopened, and you didn't eat it.
It's still in my jacket pocket.
What?
Oh, this was recently.
Bar.
No, this was 5 years ago, but nobody's ever been that kind to him.
No, it was only like a week or so ago. It's still there in my pocket.
Gosh, do you need a hug?
No. I mean, probably. It's only been like 9 years.
I'll give you one.
I can't remember the last time he was touched by another human.
I'll give you a hug. Just come on over. It's fine.
I'm not allowed to leave the province.
Sure you are.
And you would be the perfect candidate to start a sex cult.
I gotta make up for lost time.
No shit. Oh my god, all the incels can join in.
No.
Why not? They need love too.
No, they could be out in the cold.
Oh, that's harsh, man.
Oh, they gotta learn.
Why you gotta do your brethren like that?
Because I don't want to be a part of it.
I'm not an incel. Fuck you.
Exactly.
I'm voluntarily
Nobody wants to
celibate.
admit membership.
Yeah, no, Jimmy just doesn't like sex.
No, I love it.
It's kind of icky, and women have cooties, so
It's just
right.
Look, it's just been a long time. All right. I love sex.
An increasingly long time. I disappeared for 2 years, and you still haven't.
it's just it's just like we never stopped. It's like we never stopped.
Yeah, you guys didn't grow or change in any way.
I did, to be fair.
Yeah, but it's only 20 pounds.
I'm lost.
Yeah, I need to
Sorry.
lose 20
This is
more.
deep lore. It's
but,
okay.
yeah.
It's okay.
I took a spaceship somewhere because I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's fine.
All right. It's
I'm
probably for
not
the
sure if
best.
she's making a joke or actually believes that at this point in the conversation.
It's a cult ship.
Mic check. Mic check.
Yeah, no, we're good. Yeah, we're going into deep lore stuff from years ago.
Yeah, well,
It
I hope
wasn't
I
that
gave
deep.
you.
I was just making a fat joke.
An idea, and like hopefully,
Yeah,
like,
I'm
address
definitely going to try and start a
whatever
cult.
like you had been.
Definitely go to her.
questions.
She'll join for sure.
Well,
I hope it was thrilling and educational
It was
and
interesting, definitely.
very informative. Yeah,
suck a lot.
I like learning about weird little cults like that. I'm very glad that it wasn't traumatic for you.
Well, I mean, it was at the time. Like,
I
we're
just mean
pretty
now.
far removed from it now.
Yeah,
It's been a
I'm
while.
glad it didn't have lasting traumatic. Like, you're not permanently traumatized.
I don't know. It would take a lot more than that. A lot more than that to
from
permanently traumatize me.
From what I can hear in the background, you seem to have you've started a family and you've moved on. I hope things are all working out well for you.
Oh, it's wonderful. I'm really close with my family.
Oh, good.
My mom is she's like my best friend, and
that's good.
We have crazy, mad bond stuff going on. So yeah, everything's good, and it's like a really great time for me right now because I'm coming on this whole when you take a seed and you stick it in soil and water and it bursts out with little roots, and then the little leafy thing pops out the top and it blooms
the plant.
Yes.
Yeah,
Gardening.
I'm really in a place of being a mother in my life and stuff like that, where my son's about to be a teenager, right? So you can see on the other side of that role in my life, when you're little baby, when you get the little ones, you can't really see past what is life other than this, the mom thing, the baby, the diapers, everything, right? And then when they start getting more independent and getting to the point where they're they're going to start their bloom too,
and they're going to stop wanting your attention so much,
right? Yeah, but it's a really important transitional part of somebody's life, going from you're still in the mother mode, you haven't made it to crone yet, but you're in the back phase of the role of mother. You're not doing the conceiving anymore, but you're not menopausal yet. You could still conceive, but you don't fucking want to.
I mean, I felt like that my whole life, so
right. Well, and
wait, can you still make babies after they scooped half your shit out?
Yeah, of course I can.
Okay.
They didn't take out the necessary components for child rearing, unfortunately, for me.
Okay, they just took out
they just took out part of the cervix. So if I was to get pregnant, I'd have to be pretty much bedridden for the last few months because I don't have a whole lot of cervix to hold the baby in.
Grow back.
Okay.
No, it doesn't grow back.
No, a lot of stuff like vagina stuff grows heals super fast.
It healed in a month. I was only off work for a month after the surgery, but
it's pretty astonishing.
It healed, but it didn't grow back.
Astonishing at the same time.
It worked.
The vagina totally is this monster here healing.
Well, yeah, it's like the inside of your mouth too. There's certain parts of your body that just heal faster because it's really bad to have a wound in those areas.
Yeah. It's crazy stories about that, but I don't think that you had intended to.
What, crazy stories about What?
Yeah, like we're not doing the vagina monologues, so I won't go there.
Are we not? He brought up the freaking mule.
If you want to do, like, I'm available. Like, if you want to do a reading of the vagina monologues, I have
Can we not?
experience, and I could be available for that.
I'm not sure if
you've
she's
had
hitting
a
on you or
kid.
not.
Is she hitting on
Shortlist
me?
me. You could shortlist me in the event that you plan to do the
Wait, are
vagina
you asking me to
monologues.
marry you? I'm not sure.
No,
I
I'm
feel
telling you, if you want to do a live performance of the vagina monologues, that I have experience, and I will audition to keep me in mind.
Like, Anon, if you just want to scissor real quick.
Oh, for Christ's sake, Schmeckle.
And maybe even
oh my
if
God, all
we
the
do
wind
some
left my
Shakespeare.
body.
What? No, dude. What? What are you talking about? Haven't you ever read? What happened? I'm confused. Did she break something?
Sounds like she broke.
So is that like no?
Oh my God.
It's a maybe.
Okay,
It
well,
could happen.
I'm
I hate
always
you so
I'm
fucking
always
much,
prepared
Meg.
to
Oh my God.
to pitch. I'm always prepared to oh, stop it. I don't know what's wrong with her.
Oh, don't worry. It's just that she spent some time in a cult. It kind of
It
traumatized
fucked me
her a
up a
little bit.
little bit.
So have I, but I don't know what she's talking about.
I'm fine. It's good. I'm okay. Oh, it's his fault. Oh, I haven't laughed that hard in a long time.
What do people do on live streams if you're not performing like monologues or like doing some other
More
like
of that dumb shit where he says something and I
poetry
die.
or like telling stories or some like
Well, usually, like a lot of hangouts on the internet are just really people getting together and sharing stories and having a good time. Sometimes getting drunk and sometimes just telling jokes.
Yeah,
So
we'll mainly just get together. We'll talk. We'll maybe discuss the issues of the day. Give praise to the good Lord. All the things one usually does.
think of it
okay.
as like friends getting together a lot of the times.
I didn't
And
sign up for Lord worship.
I thought okay, well, I like I said, I don't live stream. I had a YouTube channel like years ago and I got to like 300 something like subscribers and I was just talking about like stuff I ate and stuff like that. And then I just got like I lost interest in it. I got bored. I stopped making videos. I think I just like post like tea parties and stuff or whatever like on my birthday and like I'll upload them to my channel.
yeah, I feel like.
So I don't know like how people are doing things.
It depends on what you
Like
want.
this
I
little
mean,
country mouse.
Hmm?
You know,
it,
I
it, it,
thought people were making videos with like live monologues and
Some people do that.
recitations and like
it sounds like what you were doing is kind of like vlogs. You know, you talk about what's going on in the
Yeah,
day, like a
got
video
boring.
journal.
I got bored.
It can be because you not sometimes nothing much happens. It's like, do you
Yeah,
really
there
want to make
wasn't
a
that
video?
like, and I also realized that like I think it's kind of spiritually poignant to like point out that I just kind of like occurred to me that like I don't know why anybody really needs to hear my opinion on fucking anything. And like once more, like I don't have to have an opinion on fucking everything either.
You don't?
So
That
no,
is
I don't have an
very true.
opinion
I
on
wish more
everything.
people were willing to be that way. Like I don't
Sometimes
have to have an
things
opinion
come
about
up.
everything.
Yeah, no, I don't want to have an opinion about everything. That would be so exhausting. Like
It
things
really
come
would
up and I
be.
see people like talking about them here and there, and I'm like, I don't care. Like I'm not interested in that topic. So like I'll just go do something else.
Zone out.
I don't have to have an opinion about that. I don't even have to think about that. Like I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, I don't think we're gonna do a dramatic reading of the vagina monologues on this channel for any particular reason.
It just put me on the backlog. You know, like when you like do an application, you turn it in, and they go, "Okay, we'll call you."
So you're applying for the vagina monologue episode of this show. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Okay.
If just put my file in that back drawer.
Right. Where's your secretary, Schmeckle? He has a job to do.
It's the same drawer that like every single like Taco Bell and
it's the drawer with the cheese in it.
No, you know where they put your application when they say we'll give you a call.
Yeah, and then they never call you.
Yeah, because they put it in the trash can. Like that's what I'm alluding to.
Ah, I see. Are you calling yourself trash?
No, but I know that's where my application to participate in the vagina monologues on the cunt stream is probably going straight into the mental.
She called it the cunt stream. It lives.
Isn't that what we're doing?
No.
See, that's how out of fucking touch I am. I don't even know what stream I'm on. You wonder how I got in the wrong subcult. I don't even know what stream I'm on.
Yeah, he abandoned the cunt stream. Where we pretend. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't so much that he abandoned it as it was just taken away from him.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was like a thing that had
ownership. Yeah, it got hacked and taken away, and so he rebranded as the Snatchcast, and that was just I like
that too.
That was a thing.
I like that too. So what are
But this channel that you're on right now is Schmeckle's channel. It's just Schmeckle, as you can see here in the StreamYards. And he has more subscribers here, so why rebuild when there's already a fan base here?
Yeah, sure, that makes sense.
That apparently like him for some reason. Like he's not even talking on his own stream right now.
Like
I think he
summary,
left.
Epilogue, I'm doing fine. The cult has not traumatized me into a, low quality of life or any of that shit.
That's really good.
And I'm just gonna keep on looking for the next crazy ass adventure.
I think that's why
there's no cults at any point in that ride.
I think that's why the conversation derailed.
Not all cults are bad.
Well,
you got out of the cult.
Maybe they just make soaps. Maybe if it's just a soap making class, like every 2 weeks. I mean, that's a cult, and it's okay.
We have to be worshiping.
They don't do anything. They just make salt or soap.
You have to worship something for it to be a cult.
They worship the soap.
Ah, okay. All right. So extreme soap.
Worship soap.
Yes,
me.
I guess.
Women.
Women pouring a lot of energy into it.
Schmeckle, didn't we at one point almost make a cult involving like a stuffed teddy bear and the Great Wash, rinse and repeat?
Not legally. No,
not legally. It was like co-created with Magog.
I remember that.
Old stream. Don't worry about it. We almost made a cult.
Rinse and repeat. The Snuggles bear.
Exactly. Colors must never mix with whites.
Oh man.
Sorry. That was a terrible joke.
I hope I told you everything that you wanted to know about. Rate me somewhere between like Wendy's drive-through window and I don't know, Hunter S. Thompson.
I mean, like if we had to rate you between, let's see, a scale from 1 to 10, I'd say like a 9.
No, I said between Wendy's
there wasn't enough drama.
Drive-through window and Hunter S. Thompson.
Well, it depends on what scale we're using. Like if we're looking at you as like a cult recruiter, I'm probably giving you a pretty low score.
Yeah, I suck at it. Well, I admit that I suck at recruiting people into like soul-destroying cults.
Don't worry, I will fix that. You'll be recruiting people like mad when I'm done with you.
Good luck.
You have to use your assets.
I'm going to turn you into a recruiting machine.
Yeah, I'll probably end up in a corner somewhere. Like
you only need to do that for like 3 months.
A squirrel or something. Like
I didn't sign up for the prostitution cult. I don't want to.
You already said you were in. No backing out now.
No, I'm out. Hey man, that's the
No,
nice thing about cults is you can
no
leave.
flirty fishing. Don't go flirty fishing.
Yeah, well, we got that whole fucking fair play thing, Anon.
Well,
You're a discredited person now.
if you're gonna excommunicate me, I'm okay with it. I'll just leave right now.
Oh, we don't let you leave. You join for life.
No, it's
Sure.
just like really way too much of a head trip for me. But like, might go like camping or something.
Yeah, well, we also do like camping trips, yoga.
I told
Tuesdays
you, I'm
are
not
fishing.
going on the orgy camping. I'm not doing the prostitution. No, I didn't sign up for that.
Oh, don't worry. Most of it's just code for drug trafficking.
I don't actually. They removed some of my cervix. I got extra room in there for more drugs.
See?
I'm the perfect mule. Oh, why does every stream I'm on devolve? It's my fault. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you are the common denominator.
I really am. I'm sorry.
Possibly
usually
even the
me.
lowest one.
Honestly,
yeah, definitely.
there's so many times that like when I make a statement, like my entire life, that people just pause and like look at me. Like,
You know, I
like there's
understand why
something
that might be.
deeply wrong with me. Like ever since
Yes.
I was like a little kid.
And you know what? There's something wrong with everybody else.
Well, I don't know. After a while, if it starts like patterning, and like it's obvious that like the same crazy shit is happening like repeatedly, I think there might be like a me factor involved.
Nah, it's totally just everybody else.
Yeah, no, see, personally, what I was taught by my mentor, who learned from his guru, who, of course, learned from the prophet himself.
The whole like par and par back to the disciplic succession of teachers all the way up to the sun god, right?
Yeah, see, you know exactly where I'm going with this. And the
Jesus
quote
fucking Christ.
goes, you are not you, but also you are God. And God, if you try hard enough, may be you. So
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's
go
as good
get
as
him,
anything.
Tiger.
It's as good as anything.
Go get him, Tiger. The cult.
It really is. It's as good as any other explanation anybody else can come up with. Doesn't matter.
Well, I'm begging out here. So how much longer are we going for?
I don't know. I was planning to end like an hour ago.
Yeah, so
Well, I hope I didn't make it boring.
No, not at all.
No, no.
It was
This
like
was this is a lot of
a
fun.
tedious adventure. I apologize. Maybe
It was able to be fun because you weren't like ridiculously traumatized by your experience. So
right, like
Yeah,
no.
I thought
mean,
this was gonna go a different route. Instead, it was hilarious.
I mean, like more of a
more heart
a Dr.
jerking.
Phil like
Yes.
feel, or
Yeah,
right?
I think that's what we were all expecting. A little bit of that.
No, I mean, there were definitely like some sad times, right? Like everybody, like it's kind of like how you personify that. Like you don't have to stay in that like film. You don't have to be there. Like it doesn't matter like what's going on around you. Like whatever weird ass shit you're in, you can still not like fall into that whole like despair and like dark place. You know, like you don't have to be there. Like you can be wherever you want. So like I never chose to just wallow in the oh, I can't go on. This is the end. It's like no, like I've been through so much shit. Like it's just like working any muscle, dude. Like I've been in the gym. Like none of that shit. I'm not gonna bring you down. Like there's some fun stuff. It was adventurous. It was crazy. It was everything.
Well, there we go. We're gonna start to wrap up now. It was great to have you on. Do you have
you.
anything, any last words you want to say for the audience?
No, I mean, is there like a lot of people listening? I have no idea.
There's like nobody watching. Don't worry.
Yeah, we're cool. I was just gonna say, like, just remind Anonymous about, like, let me know if you do a recitation of any like monologues.
You say some words weird.
Like remember me if you put something like that together.
I will do that.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm all about theatrical performance.
Oh yeah.
So let me know. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
There we go. So you guys can go and follow Robin here at PollyEsther32 on Twitter.
I probably suggest don't though, because
or don't. She does have cult connections. Maybe don't
no,
follow this lady.
It's just like my Twitter, for example. Like I'm just like endless. It's like my journal. You know how like some people keep like their little like weird journal where they put all their like random thoughts and crap. Like I wouldn't follow that. It's kind of like
follow you
like a angsty teenager.
I follow
okay,
you.
maybe I just don't want like the people I got are like super chill. Maybe
don't follow her. That, she don't want you.
No, I just don't want to get like. Never mind.
She's fun. Don't listen to her. She's fun.
I might drive you crazy and annoy you after like a week or two when you get sick of.
You've been following me for like years. It's fine.
Okay, I just wanted to give a disclaimer in case anybody complains later and they're like, "Dude, this chick is fucking weird." And sometimes
well, I'm pretty sure.
Then I'll be like, "I warned you. I warned you that I can be weird and annoying."
They listen to you talk here for a couple hours. I'm pretty sure they know what they're in for.
Yeah, I think they got it.
All right then. Well, good times.
All right, so we've had Jimmy here. We've had Little Miss Anonymous. We have had Robin. I, of course, am Schmeckle. Tune in next week when we will be talking to the son of the unsolved murder victim, William June Nissen. Wow. Until then, I don't know, if you touch yourself, you'll go blind. Have a good one.
Rabble.
For glasses.